she could not
provide. Freda, what become submission? We have to have a 10. You can't come and interfere.
Madam,
what become submission? No. What become? You have to the host. You have to be respectful. You have to be respectful. Because when provide Freda no can no too.
When me provide the pictures. When me provide the videos. Ono na sese odobroni wanye wedding oye trad.
And some trend on social media and so hankwa na benya biashe enti subscribe it and notification bell all ya upload video benya kwanya na so ahwe the trend on social media wo do ni nyina so no en menya abotre aka ni nyina si ani e de baba so mo tie mo ram ni won ko tie bi emra
onkasa
no but it's not right.
Mama men kasa na men ko why me buy me do obi atem.
No, but we are all need to be given respect.
It's that the pampa men kasa. Start the pamen kasa.
Oh, kasa.
Yo, me da say. Me pa chow, okay in Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 16. Bible say, na ebeye dense okwasea, ekite sika woni nsem se wo kwa akwahwehwe nyansa ato, wa bra o nitire. Nti obi wo ho a, wa ko school pa akuta certificate. Enso adwene pa wodi nyansa ne betum de aye adwuma no, na wo nyi. Ebi wo ho me da say.
Yo. Okay, Jumana mpacho kasa. Mamen kasa. My bejina so na tie so much. Me pusasa me ampa me be ampa me. And mama Freda cut twice. Mamen kasa. And I mean to go back to my meeting. Me pacho Freda bio can loads of stuff say. Although Marcus said wa letter no 2018 no. Or the I don't know ampa Germany property land to so me pacho. So on him law be who say. It's about jurisdiction. Okay, that's the same way of Odobroni court for 2025 say yamfa Germany properties ninka as no court in Bekano. And my judge ninka say, first of all, the amount to buy and it was not about properties. And second of all, and then jurisdiction. So you have to understand, say, untiminka as some about property or Germany or Ghana. You cannot. And so Priscilla Jean saw your wife she has to go to Germany and file for her rights for the German properties. The same way Marcus Sewa has come and is going through the legal channel. Let me make something also clear. So first of all, let's legally correct some of the statements she's making. The reason why she wrote the letter and dealt with the Ghana assets is because the Ghana assets, she was dealing with Ghana issues and she dealt with the Ghana assets. As Freda now, Becca said the brain say, "Onpa response nimbra, response letter no ye pesa the bra." The same way say omudi a letter 2018 letter number. Onpa response nimbra. Okay, because meaning say omo was response no. Onpa response nimbra because response be catch us say odo papa ni gina ne come kasa onu do anware no. And onpa response nimbra. Omo like to expose information onpa bra. So I want to make that clear, sir. And yes, sir, maybe you dear. Also, when you are engaging in this dissolution of marriage now all person assets are sema. I say, both assets now boom. Even the ones belonging to just for one party. What do you mean now boom? Now as part of the negotiation on what can their wo pay a womb. And at their mama shed letter now or can their no pay womb. So whether the assets belong jointly to the parties or not, you can't say because it's jointly to the party, it's mine. Or say, when I matrimonial assets, all of them are this. And see, I want these ones out of the bulk of the assets. Now, now you call your baby. It's called negotiation. Why obi? Marry a divorced one. You know that's how it works. Well, you look at everyone's asset, doesn't matter who it belongs to. Now I can't be a person. That is how it works. That's it. So Daddy Lumba, Marcus Sewa sat down, looked at it and said, these are what I want and this is what you can have. So let's always be truthful. And Obi Bahakase, Omuka se who has prevented assets. Number one, no. Marcus said what bad Ghana no. And only a liar will pretend. Or no crampo na bejina hokasa no. Or can one from her own mouth. Marcus said what came from Ghana, from Germany to Ghana no. She did not come to fight Priscilla over assets at that point. She was the one that asked for the two women to sit down and speak and work on things. It was Marcus Selwa. So let's all, no matter who you support, no, you just have to be objective in these things. Secondly, you say something like, if you really want to be truthful with yourself and look at the story, what brought all the issue, they say, Obi wo Priscilla family muno moko rente one of Daddy Lumba properties no omo de ma high and a bar bonting. Mama Kosha said one then started to look into what's going on. Why are people renting properties out? Then the person pretending to be Daddy Lumba's lawyers, because I want to be very clear. The letter that came out right after Daddy Lumba died saying that someone is Daddy Lumba's lawyers. I want to make it that is legally incorrect. You cannot be a lawyer for a dead person. You cannot call yourself a lawyer, and some people saying, stop lying. I'm like, listen, I have no reason to lie. It's ethically wrong to lie. So I'm not going to lie. Dies. Let's be very clear. You can no longer continue to be a lawyer for them. So that is incorrect. But the person pretending to be Daddy Lumba's lawyers and looking at Daddy Lumba's estate wrote a letter after Mama Kosa Sewa started to say, what's going on about renting and all this stuff, And she was trying to go into properties to look at what's going on. They wrote a letter saying, and had a press release saying nobody should go on Daddy Lumba's properties because she was going on. Mama Kosa Sewa was going on the properties. That was the first sign of trying to tell the woman she cannot go on her own stuff. No one should go on it. That was what and so she asked, why can I not go on it? Then, only after there were comments being made about the validity of her status in Daddy Lumba's life, after the 1 week, Crown Post, did she say, meaning who I am, and you guys asked me to let the girl also join. Now, if you want to look at facts now, I'm going to see Mama Kosa Sewa. Listen, I'm going to see Mama Kosa. Hello?
Sis.
Yeah?
Yes, sis, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Neutral.
Okay. There more. Okay. Ma'am, maybe Dr. Brano Han, maybe something. You've personal contacts most of the time with Mami Akosua Sewa. So nense mi bi ohonoma. I know say you've dived into it and you've known say the truth about it. Mami say me say let na ba bonte no. Me ye sure say wonya bi kan pacho. Pacho wonya bi kan.
Letter Ben, the one no more illegally share in line the 2018 letter I am one kind of year the without prejudice letter no more illegally share on social media no.
Yeah, fine. Me say
it is illegal to share it without prejudice in social media. Yes, that is it. That is one of you saying. Yes.
Okay. Saleta and Pacho, unya be kind. Would you choose Saleta?
Pacho make kind letter no. In and out. The me patch me say me mark enko can letter ne ho say Marco say what has legal way but me read letter na or legal team or ne kasa but me share letter no and I mean to me kasa about specific things but me can't my share letter no put some question.
Okay. Would you say Salet and Mama Akosua say one natural Salet?
Me did say letter no. It was a letter was sent as intention for them to divorce. Yes. I believe there's a letter that was sent. The content of the letter I cannot confirm or deny, but I can say there was a letter sent for intention to divorce. Yes.
Okay. Sa letter ni mu nsɛm no. Would you say that the Lumba the response by?
May say, we believe we said that Lumba the response by yes. Into the person now or you're brave, no, did without prejudice. Let me say negotiation letters, no. It's illegal to put out or to use.
Right.
They are without prejudice letter. Pakona wo ye brave no mutimi committee omunim se Ghana ye omodia no. No mutimi edit without prejudice letter ba no. Omun sound response nka ho. That's what I'm saying.
Saleta no would you say one at the back saleta and out patrol.
The only one person is reasonable for me to assume that the person who exposed that letter is Priscilla or Priscilla's agent, because it would be very reckless for a lawyer to have his hands on that. They will lose their license automatically. So it is be knowing that the implication of a lawyer being involved, no. It can only be a lay person or their agent that could share that letter with a Theas Schwarzenegger in order for it to be exposed. So I 100% believe.
Letter no. Who say nanka sa letter no. And now, do you think that letter has caused some harm to Mami Akosua case in Anna?
No, it has actually harmed significantly Priscilla. And it has harmed the Lumba. It has, like, the intention of the letter, no, was to harm Marcus Sewa. But the letter created what you say, the force of Team Legal Wives. It was intended to harm Mami Akosua Sewa, but it didn't, because any woman, most women that have the ability to critically analyze and read the letter, no, will feel pain for that woman. The woman that wrote the woman that talked and to the lawyer about what they're going through. So I would say that letter has significantly harmed the person who advised that letter will help her. Is very bad. It has significantly harmed Adelumba's legacy and has significantly harmed the concept now of being a person to her for Priscilla. No, that's what I believe. That's my personal views.
Because in indirectly, no patches say letter no, even though the intention was to harm Mami Akosua, Abebuano rather.
Abebuano, because we cannot. One of the questions that we used to all have is, why didn't you do anything about this for so long? That a lot of people were saying it very loud. I don't know, Mama Kosa said, "One kasa," and I put the kasa. I don't know, one year bia, 1 year action bia. That was the biggest thing for most women to stay back and say, if she's okay with her, then we are okay with her. One just say. So for me, even before those letters came out, I was not even in any team. I mean, like it, BBL, Charlie. Before that letter came out, I said, hey, mom, Charlie, pray for them that all of them and their children sort this out. Let her buy and I mean, you come and say, your bar time, you abroad. And to some way you see me, kabaya me de, and yo, mammy. Let me make something clear. That is what a lot of the people abroad who are educated, middle class and above, who are supporting this silently behind. No, it is the letter that answered all the things we had in our mind about the situation. Letter no, and the man who say, "Hey, sir." Before then, I have an issue. Why you take side? Why are you taking side? It is the letter. I'm 100% telling you this. Me, I'm very confident. The letter na mama no matter what say. I say women that is what it is. That is the letter is. I cannot tell you how damaging that letter is for that Lumba and the other party.
Jumana mami misao. Enema miensa bayi. Ene tache wo salete anymore. Ema wo se asem no kwa na wo mfo no kra age se wo de wo no na wo mfanya asem. But ebra wo wani boss ana wo kankan salete ntimi tache wo ma wo minim sesese ye katim legal wife for pa wo timi di asem wo echi a. Yentimi enyi wo mfiri mu e wo kwan bi em. Enema miensa besa.
Ipa child le met dem ba ko ne se wo yo ba. Uni bema akoware ɛwɔ abrokyire. So wowɔ abrokyire abɛtim ase. Mepɛ sɛ meka twi, obi sɛ meka sɛ meka twi, metwi na mentumi nka ba mɛtry, obi sɛ menka ntimi bɛtry. Woni obi akɔ.
Obetimi de brofo Africa maybe
Yeah, Marco, you know how difficult it is to try and set Ghana abrokyire it's like torture and hell. Me lucky say me buy na me sister me papa na mama nso no me kenti me life me different, but me nim conform me bo mo da bia. I mean nim life difficulties of being abroad. And even if you can cope abroad with one child is hard, let alone 3. Na bema jaw ho me wo baako na me kunu kwan poko adwuma na check more than 2 hours no ba. It's me shame won come na me suo me yam. If you're a woman, because first I say uba no unya space, uko adwuma ba, unya 1 minute krampo enya say wako bathroom akoye bibi obi amboa nko na wo hye ho cold na wo nko. And to have young kids, now they mark nursery, now they mark school, now once mark adwuma, sikani na ko. And so what dream say when mommy atna, why have all these stuff for forgive all? When now war 3. Ma worry not just one, ma worry all sorts of marriages. Move yen swa we January ho with very young children. But not Ghana. Now we need be for will behind her back or cancel our bonafide because you that remember. Oh, now ne mommy crampo woo, you know. It's like unfino as a water husband should
Jumana, did you forget yourself? Also discuss the content of the letter.
And
You're giving us emotional side of the letter.
No, that was the letter. I'm sorry, boss. I don't think you read the letter.
Maybe that's what I asked. Maybe you were not here.
You were not here. That's the letter. She asked me the question and I'm asking the answer. That was exactly the letter.
Yeah, that was the whole answer. I want to meet you.
So that is the reason why, as a woman, no, you read that the content of the letter, you get that story, and you say it is unacceptable. As a woman, no. And anyone that knows me, you know my background. I'm women for women. I am very much empowerment, women for women. But as a woman, no, I cannot be okay with another woman building their home on the back of another woman's pain. I just cannot. And this was not an agreed circumstance that Mama Akosua Sewa was in. This was a forced circumstances. They forced her into this whole situation.
Okay. Ain't me bow, Jumana. Okay. See, what the kind aka nema baako yes the fact say obeti nema na so na ebia kawa explain so that people will know say you're actually answering the call.
I'm actually answering it. I mean, I don't understand why. You know something here, it's about lack of critical thinking. A specific question, and I answered that specific question for you. Yet, you asked me a question about me personally, the emotions that drew me into the case. I answered the question, and you have people so ignorant on the comments, and you're talking. You didn't ask me a legal question for me to answer legal. You asked me an emotional question.
Oh, so, it's okay. You don't have to.
So let's get back into the legality of it. If you want to ask me about the legality of it, and I want to answer some questions. I want to answer the questions of what Freda said about the properties. Let me make something clear. Properties in Ghana are registered against the land, okay, not the building. So you need to go back and look at the lands and look at how these properties are registered, because so many misinformation out. The property was purchased in the 90s. At what age was Priscilla? The DLFM, no. You have a business and you have the building. The building was built way before. Also, the business was registered, and it was registered only.
Okay,
there's 2 East Legons, one the DLFM, and then East Legon that Priscilla is currently in. And if you know the story and know the story, East Legon that Priscilla is currently in was bought jointly. Don't listen to only. Please make sure you ask them to provide the documents. It was bought jointly between Mama Akosua Sewa and Daddy Lumba. Jointly, the land was bought jointly by those two in the 90s. Even
Okay.
oh me pacho me didn't me pacho me see me didn't throw but whom with my own eyes until mumpa that land documents name breme me see it was bought in it's a mimi bois mumpa land documents name bra mumpa bra because I hate when they come in line and they say hey what are you on about
I understand. Me na me bisa wase so tie me de no. Me na me bisa wo. Me no di nkomo what ma say. Say obi abeka na so right say so be de oba
exactly.
counter.
Me come me na woka.
And you forget about the comment section. Comment section we don't pay attention to it. I don't even read. But the me na me person me bisa obi mo de say. The question am person me bisa wo say. Marriage certificates.
Yes.
Mama Akosua certificate. Enkofo ebi mo se owo marriage certificate. Ebi mo se oni. Court, the minimum say court can say on authenticate. Maybe I stand to be correct. You know the word. I think say authentication, right? Authentication, maybe sir. And what do when you say young Mama Akosua say what marriage certificate?
More than that, my main concept is me call me bia me bebe jina ha na makekema me mfa me nsanko share the background of it. Me see in November 2025 after the judgment no obi oni me catch say me coffee share me call busa the Ghana embassy in Germany say process now law now no I just asked the question to see the process work and how to go through it. The reason why, no, not me person who say lawyer no yet why a negligent and no negligent. To me call hokobusa, must see that there's no thingy for them to do that. They don't do that here. They don't have anything to do with it. I swear I'm telling you now. I swear on my life, say omunye sir. Authentication. The ruling now about that's what they told me. Number one. Number two, so the marriage certificate, you know, they say me the as I who say Germany the German embassy and then the Ghana embassy in Germany. Sir. Almost they don't do that for a foreign document. They don't. Me see they don't.
There's
no, almost say you got to go back to the Ghana thingy. Ghana, different. Yeah, it doesn't exist. Me pamacho. Listen, I'm not gonna go into my maybe catch your mommy investigation. I mean, yeah, almost it doesn't exist. You have to go to the foreign something in Ghana, and then you have to go to the German embassy in Ghana and get them to do A, B, and C. They took me on a journey. I'm telling you now, and I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you, I swear. I did my own because I cannot follow. I cannot follow something blindly. I cannot follow something blindly with my profession and my background. I know how wicked Team B can be, and so I make sure all my stuff is covered before they start to say this one is doing this, and before they start to play with my profession. So I don't follow things blindly. I tell you that. So I went to gather to be. Yeah.
It will say Germany almost me on 30K.
They don't have the process. If you remember when I went to let me patcho men kasa me catch you me catch you. If you remember me patcho if you remember say me call a ubushe bi video na me call a demonstration once it me can nyina wo ho. Me can na me petition no I will be video make my video no me petition am the call no so me catch almost say adentin na money process in place. And almost that's my request was you have to set it up. I don't lie. I have no reason to lie. So why would I be petitions that they need to put it? Listen, government departments, no, they have a transparency law.
They're okay, Jumana member, they're okay, lawyer could see our way say Bibisa any honum or
yes. Listen, I'm not gonna go into appeal or anything. Please, man, I'm not going to facts. I'm just telling you my story. I'm not gonna go to lawyer could see or anything. But I'm telling you my story, right? Not say
oh no would the Mama Akosua say where she will say
onya justice right can't stop me can't
me can't say can lawyer could see as what they patch me banya but say mama me patch wadaroma ha wo person lawyer nyina yenim say Mama Akosua say wa team legal wives especially you're doing everything for her say obenya justice and I say me a court and a court to say omo en authenticate certificate no right and then the mommy bisa say wo wakoye wo research na When who says Bibisa, it doesn't even exist to say German hono or more authenticate Bibisa. Then I remember Bibisa was say, yeah, no, sir, say, yeah, nebo, sell your kusi so air file for appeal. Ne Bibisa so. As a steer, yeah, oh no, what find out say this is the truth. Say Bibia say any honoma. Are you in any chance communicating to lawyer Kusi to be aware? Say Bibia said so that
Mommy, no comment. All I'm going to say is no comment, and you should understand in legal ground. No comment. Me see me well, and I'm a petition. Open a copy of the petitions that you can see it. All you have to do is contact the Ghana High Commission in the UK, contact Germany, and you can see all my petitions. It's in patrol. I don't have a reason to lie, not with my profession. And see, and I will also say, and although Bruni first no can, me make fuck a chirawa, more catch and say me boy, someone call me say, ah dang, come on, and yeah, although Bruni, whatever his name is called, that guy,
are you Jimana? Okay, maybe I Messi Odobruni because me pesa will be cast. I won't say Freda by my ma will be at Emilton. Odobruni, me patrol. Sorry, is it Odobruni?
I'm not getting.
But again, because I'm out of a person panning pay attention to me questions now. Maybe some.
I mean, Odobroni bodyguard in Kasaki too. Odobroni bodyguard, Mr. When you so I know some of the things you cannot take. Please, Yinina Yawahano. We are Tim Odobroni by Mr. Shaw also. Why? Ne mute you, Mike. Why me patrol, Mr. Roman Pesibisi? Why me patrol, Mr.
Mati.
Some of us are actually listening very well. We needed this chance, and we thank God is here. Please. Adepameda Sinti continue.
Okay, sorry, Jemana. Okay. Jemana Pacho to us.
Okay, be saving you, I'm patrol. I will not. I want to be very clear, sir. When you ask me questions about what I've done with a lawyer or what I've done with my petition, I will not comment on it for legal reasons.
Okay,
but what I will say is that I did petitions for reasons, and I did the petitions, and the petitions can be requested by any other citizen. So if you have any doubt on my concerns and why I was doing petitions and going to those places, it is within your right to request copies of those petitions. But anyway, so I want to say to you, sir, and you asked me the question, I will categorically say, sir, Mrs.
Not as a one certificate in that, as I say. A lot of people
Mrs. Akosua Sewa certificate is valid. There was no divorce. The German authority has accepted that she is the lawful wife. If you look at Mama Akosua Brempomaa's press release, she says it clearly, but Ghanaians do not want to read or say. The German authority has already declared her as the only surviving legal wife of that Lumba. So mid-year, you keep saying, and I meant to make aside from the release, and I'm extremely, listen, sometimes, I listen to Freda and all these people, and I'll be honest with you, for a long time when I kept listening, I was thinking, I had doubt in my mind because they were so convincing. I'm not gonna lie, so convincing.
Yeah.
But in order for me to be able to be okay to continue to do this, I had to go and do my own. I had to see things for myself.
Investigation.
So I want to be honest with you, Nise. If anybody tells you that Mama Akosua Sewa Bimba was divorced before his death, it is a lie. If anybody tells you, say, there was Mama Akosua Sewa's marriage is a lie. If anybody tells you that the German authority this is a lie. And also people should think consistently, say, how on earth can we have a very open and public discussion about a marriage certificate? Petition to the German government, petition to the German embassy in Ghana about the authenticity of the German certificate, and the woman can be walking around and no criminal action against her if she's produced forged documents. So to me, it's only a matter of time. Then if Ghana will allow, because to me, it's very embarrassing for me as a Ghanaian, where internationally she's known She's known as the only legal wife, but in Ghana, she's sharing her ordinance marriage, and she's sharing the wife status to somebody else. So as Ghanaians, we have to ask the question. We have to ask our question: why are we trying to cover up the reality? The reality is, across the world and in Germany, Mrs. Akosua is the legal wife of Daddy Lumumba. But in Ghana, we want to pretend that she's not. Because it doesn't feed it doesn't feed us. It doesn't feed into our narrative they want to create. You can love Priscilla, and you can value her contribution, and you can love her and value the what she did for Daddy Lumumba and the children she had with Daddy Lumumba, but still understand the truth.
Okay. Jemana, my mean sambi sa obi court honum ye the certificate echo honum. What can so say omo the certificate, marriage certificate as a matter of fact. Okay. Family certificate.
You have to do bundles, you got to do bundles. So what you do is that you get a certified copies. You get certified copies. Now stamp, and also you have to take it to a place where they
certified copy no. Certified copy no.
You get it from Germany. You get it from Germany, and then you have to interpret it with a company that is recognized. It's in Germany, right? So you need to put it in English. Normal stamp. The date changing the call English normal. Now the all of that now the courts. Into you take the certified copy, the interpreted copy, the one just in English so people can understand what's on the document, Now the meaning now they are caught. Into original marriage certificate now what the family book then one and no will have a different date to the certified copy now for court Now I must stamp it will have a different date, and the interpreted copy will have a different date, and the different person will sign. So that is something that people don't understand. That is how these things work. So nobody, you telling me you go to court and people have bring the original documents and would 3 or 4 bundles. That's stupid. You have to copy them and put in the bundle so all the parties can have it. You cannot. Nobody takes. So what happened is when they were discussing the original things, they flew the original for them to see. But the reality is, there was certified copy following the rules in the bundle. There's so many bundles in the bundles. So that is what people don't. I used to go to court constantly. I go to courts in the UK, so I know it's certified copies that you put in the 3 bundles. You know how many there was 3 defendants. I think 3 defendants, and there was and the plaintiff, and then there's a judge. You need at least 5 bundles. 5 bundles. So what are you talking about?
Okay. Na kesa what the can now what the lawyer could see the coy the bundles.
But what they're saying is that the section on the Evidence Act, now more kase, so they call hase, and it's hase. In certain country, you can do it. It's easy. The process is established and it is in the embassy.
Okay.
But what about church? Those conversations were being had, and they were writing, asking them to do that. We're not. Listen, let me not go too deep into specific cases, but you can ask me a question, and I can answer those questions. But what I'm saying is that let's just wait. We all pray. Say we are all searching for one thing, which is the truth. So let the truth be told. Let the truth sit where the truth needs to sit. And also, when people ask me, say, has the pill been lodged? Lodge a pill. The pill was lodged. If anybody don't have short memory, a lodge a pill, no. The next day after the judgment came, they lodge their pill. A pill doesn't take 1 day. You have to get all the transcript.
Yemfa certificate in court and some enkoto baby for now. Say ye certificates if free ho, ye courts on some free ho no ma. You listening to the entire story. Akosua. When you say what should that tea would one was want to film a tea story no. Even the court to ho no ma, I mean judges no be bisa judges ni bisa ya friends and witness statement ni be so can from both parties no and they watching abonten they watching like closely no say you certificate in free home. Do you think say there was in relationship and I say can say closeness no there was relationship awari ankasa mama kusia say wa woni Daddy Lumba not omo as before Daddy Lumba be.
Let me make something clear. When a man abandons his wife, okay, and children, and decides to set up a relationship with a 17-year-old girl and build a life with her separately in a different country, and you ask that question, do I believe that there was a relationship between them? In my view, no. If you want to leave your wife, you don't just abandon them, you divorce them. Okay. And so if you try to look at abandonment as an excuse for divorce, that's the reason why the courts make it specifically say you have to file and the judge have to look at the circumstances and then allow you to leave the marriage or stay in the marriage. When I say judge depended to me, you will. And you cannot take away the ordinance marriage. If Mama Kosa Sewa wanted to be just a traditional, she would just be traditional. But she knows why she wanted the full marriage ordinance. And to me, Pacho, I'll explain to you, sir, if you are married to a man and you are married through ordinance, even 100 years of separation is not a divorce. So the marriage will still be subsisting. Even if the man decides to move away and leave the wife wherever you want and do what he wants to do now, it is still subsisting. The party who has been hurt, abandoned, can file for divorce and can ask a court to dissolve the marriage. But what I would say to everybody is, when also an advice for all women, and I have to go now, but advice for all women, when you go and you start to build your life with a woman that is already tied to another marriage, make sure on breaking that bond, totally. Because even if you sit there and say, man, man, he had every opportunity to dissolve his marriage fully and be with you. So that is my thing, is you must always make sure. So the question that everyone keep asking, say, oh, he abandoned her, he was really in a relationship with Brody, not Mama Kosa Sewa. If he wanted to break his marriage, he should have broken his marriage fully. So in my view, as a woman, the only time I will take on say, oh, there is no marriage, is if I can see a divorce paper. Daddy Lumba had an opportunity in 2018. Daddy Lumba had an opportunity, according to you people, he was with her for 17 years. He had opportunity for 17 good years. Daddy Lumba was powerful and he had money. If Daddy Lumba wanted to no longer be married to that woman, he needed to take the right approach. So the question is no. Unfortunately, Daddy Lumba played the women, but the person he played even more is the woman who stayed with him with no commitment and had six kids with him.
Jumana, unim, I like you. You know why? Because I say, what kind of way? What kind of way? You've mentioned the reason why I make us all kind of way, because you've mentioned abandonment, meaning say, what you say, they were distance for so long, and even though they were distance, and also so it doesn't automatically cause for divorce.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes, I'm saying, of course, and I will never lie. I'm not the kind of person who sugarcoats things, even if it doesn't make me look good. The truth is, and I've always said this: they got married in Germany. Even if you just look at the 1991 there now, decided to go to Freda, I'll call Germany, I could set some life up. And I'm cut now, a total intimate part or no or so Ghana. In Matrimonial Clauses Act, what's your law now, my main country though? I say it has to be consent of both parties to change a matrimonial home. So if one person decides to go and reestablish himself in another country, his matrimonial home will still only be in one place where his wife is. So that is what people don't realize. You cannot as an individual establish two matrimonial homes. Daddy Lumba had to dissolve the matrimonial home in Ghana in Germany before he can establish one in Ghana. So he abandoned his responsibility, yes. He neglected his duties as a husband, but the person that could have made an issue out of it was Mama Kosasewa. You cannot, as a third party, say, "Ukunu jawo to her for 15 years until marriage." No, that's not how it works. Say Marcus said when I said that the lumba now me no, and I'm okay say marriage way dear as a good young cotton na young move your life. But man yet. You cannot pretty a situation on one yet. And now on no every day life. Nobody can take away the fact that you only have relations. No one will take that away from you. But we have to be honest.
Okay.
And the honesty is that Lumba did not dissolve his marriage.
One dissolve Matase. Do you think say that Lumba so abandon Mamia Kusia so at a point no or betia see a move on and up? Do you believe something happened?
No. I don't believe. I think there's something that some people do not understand, okay? Some people don't understand that there's women out there at a certain point in their life, they're not interested. And you would know some women out there, they're just not interested. Or they are so all about the man. Ujin said that the Mama Kosa said, "Why truly no be wa team be a mo pet stories, no more pet creation of stories, no more to me audit audio niano." You think they would not have found something to bring it? True stuff to bring it out. Mr. Mama, no, she did not. She had, and I will say this, I don't care how many times they told me I'm a liar, but God will punish them that's pretending that I'm a liar, because the woman had a mortgage and the woman also had a loan. That the loan by last album not the buy no or big loan. And no muchia. That the loan into me patcho. And that loan into it's attached to your home. And she was working 2 jobs. She was working and raising children. So no, I think if I was her, if you ask me as a woman with my views, how I feel, if I was her, would I have moved on and left? Yes. We would not be here talking. Would I have filed divorce and showed Daddy Lumba Pepe? Yes. But she didn't. She tried and then she backed off. So let's just be honest and stop assuming that, because as a woman, I would have moved on. She should move. She didn't. Unfortunately, she didn't. I wish she did.
Okay. And you know, say our divorce be and take place. Official divorce be and take place. But then no, at a point that lumba de oja a hoko abandon no. Mamia Akosua say was so de what honum or no I will move on. Me patcho will move on. I mean, so you believe say because there's no evidence out there such as say no be crack out and I say which.
No, listen, I have no evidence. I have no evidence that she did it. So I'm not going to make assumption that she did. But what I will also say is the fact that there's no evidence out there. And so I'm not going to make assumption.
Question.
Yeah.
I mean, some question. Okay. Do you think say Mami Akosua I mean me say nanka Mami Akosua say wa na adwemu no anase ote ho a ebia wo twen ni kunu say bia one day ni kunu be sa aba ne nchen anase say
go through the pattern. If you really truly follow this story, it's a pattern where the Lumba does things like that and he comes back home. He comes, he sings another song for her, he comes back home. That is the pattern that they had. He came back, he comes back home. He always did. He always, he would go and do what he had to do, but he always came home. And also I think said there was a point, but I cannot answer. It would be her to tell a story. You're asking me to speculate. But what I'll say to you is the pattern in her story suggests that back. And Priscilla is not the only one, and and he always took her back. He took him back. So the story is he knew the woman he had, and he that's why he stayed with her. But that was the pattern. The pattern is obey baby on kasa na be mana back. So maybe in her head, say that could be. You can infer that's what her head, but I don't know. People seem I know she doesn't talk about that Lumba and the relationship with people. Not even her own sister. So I can't tell you, say, this was intention. This is how she is. No, I don't know that.
Okay. And look, I mean, you know what? Me so you'll be our kind of cray. But me miss a question way. Any of professional was I know. Looking at everything Akoso nasa happen. Do you think said that number was ever going to go back to Mami Akosua self?
I want to be honest with you. Is I believe that the Lumba was never going to divorce Mama Kosasewa. And I think, sir, at the final stages of his life, he was considering going back to Germany. I have credible evidence to suggest he was going to go back to Germany. But like whether, and it's not only me that said it, people that were in the house, they were saying that he was going to Germany. Listen, I cannot speculate, say, what Daddy Lumba would have ever left Priscilla and gone, but I do know that Daddy Lumba was going to go back to Germany. What he was going to go and do, who he was going to be with, I'm not going to speculate. Like I said, Marcus has never told me her story herself. Other people has told me, but Marcus, so I'm not going to speculate. But what I do believe, say, that what I know from Daddy Lumba's intention is to not put more children. And the time when he distanced himself from Marcus is the time when she could no longer have any more. And if you also look at the pattern between Daddy Lumba and Priscilla, they were having children every other year. She has 7, and they were having children every other. Do the calculation. So at some point, so that's the reason why, even though I am angry with her action post-death, if those actions were not in present, I would not be angry with Priscilla. Does that make sense? So what I was saying is that to me, it looks like Daddy Lumba did what his own selfish needs. Marcus Osawa was over 40 something. She couldn't have any more children for him. And she moved on to a 17-year-old girl who was fertile and could have kids every other year. And that is to me, that is what it appears from his actions. But I cannot speculate. That's what I'm saying. So to me, I'm analyzing the patterns, analyzing I can say, Daddy Lumba just wanted more children. And Marcus Osawa could not give him more children. And he moved on to someone who could. And he had those children exactly how he wanted it every other year.
Okay. Mami said Michelle be say up till now, since cases any issue started.
Yeah.
Do you think say bibi wo hono maka mami say wa enka ye ma opportunity and ma opportunity say sesano mana change it for her. E wo case mu nyina enka den na obesesa.
Patrick, I wish, sir, I was mommy, because Mrs. Akosua was live, proper life in 2018. I'm telling the truth. I wish, sir, I was in her life in 2018. I wish that a war and kind of one of her children. I mean, the age I am. I wish that was what happened. Because if I could change anything for her now, in 2018, no support network, that is what I would have done. I'm mano, like metina and chance supporting them and who's a bit senior, yeah. That is if I could change anything, that would have been what I would have done. I would have made sure that she started in actions in Germany to dissolve the marriage fully and move on with her life. The insult that people and I'm gonna finish up by saying one more thing and I'll move on. The insult that Ghanaians have given to her, the disrespect, the degrading treatment that has occurred post his death is not worth any of this. And I want to talk about, someone was making comments about Kunani or Kobe Bide, and I want to just cover something. When Daddy Lumba passed away, no mo kosini or buy no mo sini yes or no kuna whatever no me Pacho mo pese obi ye kuna na mo treaty mo esika ni nyina ma mobilize ama je wo Ghana no na mo nse kuna ni no onu de onko adwuma day in day out onko adwuma morning and night or your shift everything every day sika cramp no business ni bibia no omumfama ideketwa no legal fees cramp no mo de Daddy Lumba japade kasa mo ye fi Daddy Lumba japade legal fees nimpo no mo tua ema girl no but no don twa na de okodwuma 1-1 motimi de ni si ho na we dinner tama mama no mama nka be nchwe wa monim no on to me dimpo no we bread ni nsuo keke no swada every day na we dinner tama na maka je mpa ho
time ready na work no na say na before
no from the beginning all the way mutimi ya
okay
starting no mo insult no ne ho ye way na mo dinner tama so mo ye kunani o na muka ne ho etan hwe belebe wo ba ha hwe wo ye prostitute ye way na
jama me pese ye be call insult because
me make a point someone make a point the point is for a point mudi na tem na to ho na mudi na fa legal process ne so me say that mu dream say mu na one no court mu dream said Papa Jama and Koye daddy lumba lawyers for the state and na one ya two women to mo say mo your wife na ba ko say your ordinance wa dream say and yes lawyers nka say yi ba na nko hwehwe mu ma mo mfa ba na nko hwehwe mu ma lawyer no upper side nko hwehwe mu na who say ampa your ordinance nti yempa papa to papa no yem sorting out me who lawyer be upper side. What you do, no, me, I know be, and that Brempomaa signing a girl off from training to be a solicitor. I don't care about what you people say, but what I'm saying to you is, say, you go, you do your due diligence, and you act in the best interest of the family. So now more church, this estate in church legal fees, backing one person, no, dear, on nephew. Na mo mfa bibia nto ho na mo ne mortgage na ntika bodi di Brempomaa mo mfa ma no no nya mukuna mama ho na me pa cho enti that is what you expect here. You expect her to go through silently on your sika on be cast on that nkofo no mo bua no bibia on your hwe no ye kun na mo aye dem pa bia. Now, if somebody is doing kuna, when in Ghana has a person actively doing kuna goes or see Okofo ye for the one week, a kuna does not even go and leave the house to go to influential people's house to invite them to a funeral. It doesn't happen. But Mam Kosesewa was saying she can't do that because she's doing kuna and she's sitting in a kuna situation. But Priscilla was going to different ex-president in the president's house, almost some year or committing a cheat, all of that was happening. But for Ghanaians, very, very narrow mind. When one person is doing it, it's okay. When she needs to do it because she needs to be grateful for what's going on, I said, okay, some of the Ghanaians are very narrow-minded. Both in this particular situation, both women have not been allowed to just be kunas, but only one person is crucified online for it, for doing what she needs to do to essentially sort the situation out. And so that's why I put there. I think when you criticize someone, please try and be objective. Look outside, because me and yes, I'm more criticizing Mama Kosesewa for what she's doing recently. I mean the can't Priscilla dear, but more can someone like me so may dream who say it's not only her. That means me Canada. You behave in a situation.
My member ha. Odobroni maybe the Odobroni asem beba mkakra be just few minutes. Odobroni ohwe Odobroni one da de lumba ewo 6 kids. Say na wusi hu Odobroni. What do you wish for Odobroni?
Listen, I like I said, I don't know if I've said it earlier on, but I wish.
And the reason why I'm asking you,
let me say something. Let me say something.
Yes,
and I think I've said this on my platform. If it came to the part of distribution of assets and there was not sufficient assets given to her to take care of the kids, I would have been fighting for her. I said that before. If this thing had not happened and it came to distribution of assets and the kids were not properly looked after, I would have been speaking for her. So for me, I wish Priscilla and Marcus Kosesewa had been able to sit down and make this work properly. So to me, I sincerely believe, sir, it's not about I'm a wife, no, but when you're a wife, you still have a significant role in this man's life. Everybody knows that. No one will take that away from you. You're the mother of his 6 children. You were with Daddy Lumba. There's pictures that say that you were very close. You were with him. I wish that the focus should have been, I'm the mother of his 6 children, and I should be, the children should be looked after post-death, rather than I'm the wife, and I should have access in the wife state and wife position. That is not the truth. And so I wish she focused on what is important, rather than how she looks to the public. That's my advice. But I'm going to let someone else talk now. Thank you very much.
Okay, one more question, then I will let somebody come in. One point. Oh, okay. Yes, okay.
She wanted to go. Anyway, that's fine.
Bring her back. That's a one
Oh, the
question, please.
manembra back at the sure.
Oh, I knew this was gonna happen.
Oh,
Thank God, said
okupelu besu peni bia na waba.
yeah. Some of the things
Ya botre.
I recorded her because I needed this. I've always wanted this opportunity. So because she moved about telling people, say supposedly she's a lawyer, but per her statement you can clearly tell the difference. At the purpose, I will make my submission and then.
Oh, adepa okwampa. Oh, adepa me so oh try so pingin about
I
na.
know we
Papa,
done
you say
you.
let me see no. Oh, on the call.
Fa
Adepa
question
is
no
no
be
pingin no.
obo
Adepa friend no.
Oh, some man fan share na say mo baby question no she thought say and then actually
But
said
at the
no
pa
she
at
took
the
on
pa
some
interview na ne no no ko afọ bu ama wo wenti mi no wan end interview.
it's
Nti I don't
okay,
know if
it's
you na
okay.
network
It's
na
okay.
se go. To the entry if
That's
you better
fine.
back. Ya entry. To
That's fine.
the sorry to aso oba e be say afan back. Why? If you na network na feel.
Okay. Not necessarily. Say so. Only have for question. I mean, somebody can also comment. They said the sister Freda call now. Sister Freda, it's okay. I mean, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. Okay, storage koi Patrick Kasa.
That is okay be why.
The phone.
Montemenka.
Okay.
Anna Montemenka.
I've been here to can here to come before. Okay.
Okay, Adepa, so and I think say what divert your topics now, but there are so many things being said throughout there,
I wish I
which
promise
are
I
not.
want to put my voice. Kasa me too.
There are so many things that was thrown out there, and which are not untruths. If you or I try to record it for future reference, and if you also so I have to write them down. First of all, Yanko court verdict now. I don't know why in legal wife, like the intellectuals, every time they ever have the arguments, they say they are only, say they don't want to talk about the verdicts because more quite appeal. A basic chat GPT search will tell you say or say or my file for appeal no, which is untrue. When you go to chat GPT now, Oboshem say what are the processes for appeal processes in Ghana? It gives you basically about six, if I'm not wrong, it gives you about 10 processes they call for appeal. No. Number one, it says you have to file a notice of appeal. You know, and I say yeah, kind of say lawyer Dominic Papebi about Minya with the voice down, very calm, very reserved man. Best or indirectly or serve notice of appeal, no, which is the first stage. Let me go back to the other stages now for doing mass. No. You state your grounds for appeal and you serve the other party appeal notice appeal no. You serve them say grounds no their mom and no omonye. The court prepared the records for appeal and also so omonye. You file your appeal, you file your statement of case and also so omonye. The other side files DS and also so like Dominic Monye. Oko 7 now. The court of appeal hear the matter and also so yenyen ho. And at 8, the court of appeal gives judgment. It is our process 8 ni nyina mu ba akopɛ. Adepa emu baako pɛ ana ɔmayɛ emu baako pɛ sei ana ɔmayɛ nti appeal ne deɛ yɛn na yɛwɔ team legal wife na yɛpɛ biribi asua ne deɛ obviously yɛpɛ sɛ ɔmo kɔ for appeal no we want it, we will encourage them, we don't want Maame Akosua Sewa to stop ɛno no nkyerɛ sɛ yɛ force ne sɛ ɔnkɔ ba yɛ deɛ yɛ motivate ne yɛ wɔ ha sɛ yɛ panakyɛw paa sɛdeɛ sɛbi yɛ maame nom bi yɛ nuamaa no mu bi yɛ papa nom bi ɛde ɔma akoma adi case wei akyi akɔ no. There's nothing in this world that will bring more peace in Ghana as it stands now when it comes to this issue than bringing the supposed or purported certificate. No? Because of court, no, the certificate two ne koi, which judge in the council has both lawyers were laughing, omo de Samson Ayinia. They now judgment about far lawyers I can see by they've interpreted it. Oko lawyers or movies in everybody has interpreted it. Me who obia even Canada Japonia Japan. No crowds won't kind here, but to feel say oh the judge the man opportunities non for appeal. No. Into appeal we are not forcing her, it's an own right, but you better not chow. See a serena, ya attention ye PBB ready. And our boy some of us we are not lawyers, but we've had a chance to know how lawyers work and all that. In TSRNA, appeal need yes or moko. But on outside the courts and so one day be a make us say same way BBA won't be a too. Yeah, you team legal wife one of our lovely bloggers, any Deck 360. Me sure say Ghana had you so far when it comes to the blogging industry now. Obi anywhere obeto or no was standing for team legal wife, team Odobroni and team Daddy Lumba. Yeah, you know. And when you go to the other side, which is team whatever they call themselves, team legal wife, is registered to let me give them the respect. Which be team legal wife, which is registered by Tiwa and owned by Tiwa. Almost so blogger no so bako. And then Dazi TV. Dazi TV say yeah no so try up because appeal no what. Because ono the one say almost first one, which is the grounds of appeal no. Almost the be back by the end of December. Into what hana wo sha sa statement ya me mai nyina sa statement ya me mai nyina no. Second one now, which is the grounds of appeal no. Does it TV so be filing in December. Into December you be who the grounds why they are going for the appeal no and no beba. Let me also state it here. Girl no or buy lady no, let me respect her. Lady no buy or beke can send me brave. Akosua Sewa went to court. It's not just by the mere fact say Okoye and a marriage certificate in Kwan went to me and prove you. When she went to court, she also claims say onini kunu Daddy Lumba atufia omutia. Yeah, ti abrochi ni bi. And we know how mortgage payment there's always receipt for mortgage payment. And I know sir you live in a beautiful house. And you know how receipt are. Okoye no court on and the marriage certificate in Kwana Akosua Sewa went me and prove your court. Okoye in mortgage payments now or the name so any kunu 8 year mortgage no mortgage receipt in a pra went me and Fabia ma Akosua Sewa couldn't provide any payment. I wanted that the lumba eye. I was said that the lumba or mona kasa that the lumba janeka no jina hu to yasa akan. It's obvious as a court now Okoye. She had no business going there. The second of all, no, aside marriage certificate and so. Neba age. Or say that the loan be free on, none bet you no for no. Your quantity free my DBK car on. None the last born, that the loan be free on. No 8 to 12 years. Me pacho mam wa awfo na mo hana ma wono. Me pacho one and the bada sutia no for no between the age of 8 to 12 years. They are all lies. Until she had no business going to court. She had no business based on that theory, you know. Into me, Kanama says it should be a say. Akosua Sewa went to court to prove her marriage, not just because of her marriage. Okoye on one mortgage payment, or said that the lumba the care gunsu a wood to ya. A canon coffee be receipt in ra. When to me a farmer. Into then some near Brempomaa enye. What's the busano content of 2018 letter grounds for divorce? No, also on person or become myself. I don't want to talk about the content of the letter. Then again, you will say 3 things all letter anymore. A man freely so support your mammy Akosua Sewa. Then she go on the run for emotional blackmail. Say oba or teho and a nikunu bono and a nikunu yeni say yes. The lumba sebi. No dia homa so. Ya mammy Akosua Sewa okon. No yeni niyama bibri. Niyama bibri ane wo wiase bia na oyeno ama ne ye basa ama ne reho. Because that the lumba ni ha obeyi ne ho ano. Until all these things are being said and throughout there. Inti ama affected or we no saka say 2018 letter no it has affected that the lumba more than say it affected your mama Akosua say who told you? Who told you that 2018 letter affected my minister by outside or even or quarter kutu chasa antro ni nyina to ho eso one that the number tia mortgage wa ware ani nyina went me and providing 2018 letter now or no ba na also one person come content which I don't want to go into details no my minister that the lumba was 17 yeah waha yete ha ono asa call for letters of administration or call for letters of administration no osa ko chasa antro na bi wo ho na Akosua Brempomaa. As we stand now, letters of administration omo de koye. Almost say omo busia penny ni Robert Jemfi. The patrol court I fight for busia penny is any name Robert Jemfi. Inti Akosua Brempomaa together with Akosua Sewa, are they telling us said now a corner busia has 3 busia penny. Uwe from the letters of administration no asa control that the lumba master that the lumba ma 11. Into where did we move from 17? Where do we move from 17 to 11 now? Does Akosua Sewa really know her husband? Akosua Sewa no any kunu communication diana because it seems not. Sasa niyama we nyina oni ho knowledge about everything. Unya abotre na also unya abotre na nye sentiment and then hearsay na also ya. Document bi a baby a pebi ne kan. And you know how these people are playing. She has no business going to court. She has no business claiming whatever she's claiming. On a traditional level, we give her that respect because no media yeka say na nanom any court the omo kan sama ye gidi. And to don't come and stand here and say that the Lumba legacy is in the mad because Akosua Sewa because whoever released the letter. As a lawyer who you claim to be now, you know, say before anybody dies now, it's a basic rule and essential. Emma will say, law who client change the law firm, you transfer your other clients' documents to the other firm. And sha that whole we are say. So where from that side, Niamana and Kofoka say, I that the Lumba na although Bruni release letter or release letter now that the Lumba we know. And the lawyers never announced it. That the Lumba only lawyers. Although Bruni has no business releasing that letter. So what they be then? Ebe one what then? Ebe man and 6 nenya Japadi ni nyina. No, it doesn't. Adepa Osabe Kasa asemu we ha. I don't know her educational level, but it's an insult to all of us. The Oko German embassy in Germany, omunye authenticating or it's a very big insult to Ghanaians. Very big one. A simple Google search, all the search engines we have on this internet will tell you that they do that. And so when you authenticating it, there can me follow up question. Now me so can who may be me. Me follow up question is any more chance to say documents and then quarter authenticating on any. These people, I don't know how they talk. I don't know who feed them with this information. What's the German embassy? Authenticating. No? But German embassy, I work Ghana they authenticating. Papa she as woko German and Bana and Okoyotent. A two jina high catch in Germany. Who knows? I come near my home as foreign country. The omun but who are you like, lady? What I can't information. Sometimes more banners also are not like the bigger excuse of it all and say, Unime Juma me. So we Juma now we and winning Sanima we you wouldn't come and sit here and say all these things that you are saying. The German embassy or Germany to me authenticating India. And you over for now call for appeal. Where are you going to authenticate this document to go for appeal? Yeah, Becky can send go because she knows it very well. There's platform is for educated people. To account in some way apart. No koi. The permit church and some no handy now, but tell me. I'll say or no or she ran herself to be a lawyer. I'll say I didn't know Emma say well, cause you say one. Then the document in your writer. I didn't know court in the answer. The judge Cassidy purported that. It doesn't mean say at the end a cause for arrest too. And she claimed and walk around saying say she's a lawyer. Because if you're a lawyer, these are basic rules. And all the search engines will tell you that if you go to court and the judge says say a document is purported. Judge, yes, we arrest one. No. So why didn't you know be how Ubu says that question? They say, and case a judge and arrest no. On what basis na judge and arrest here by me because a document is purported.
That was the question I wanted to ask her, you know. That was my exact question.
Who court near catch us one foul document of a process in the farmer. And also see a chew to manner. Like, what is this? Somebody and him before you need the agrosa. Adepa, back to Yamamia Akosua Sewa. Or no, Busase or ye kunania or buy ya maniska. The Oshe Ekunana no obeyana from 1 week. Me who kunania or Wagana, I had to say Yamamia Akosua Sewada. Busia Fona maniska. Yinihana despite Kasai. For over all these years, over 30 years, and some of us over 30 years, I am despite ne, or more money over 40 years, I ever told despite having talk. Martin and ne saying serious issues almost 3 times. But as same women despite the Kasai. Or say Mamma Kosia say why Amaniska. Mamma Kosia say, well, Banaga or Bagana till now, from 1 week now that the Lumba Woo yen. Kunani Ben Ajineni, I also saw no such a Mamma Kosia sewa. The bear we are seeing who be that. Kunani a wedding birthday, a brand new Kunew. Kunania wedding Mother's Day. Life. Come on, done so. Also. Kunani Ben Yajin any channel. Nina Ghana for any a man. No one a ye. Ye Ghana for any agent. With him legal wife, some of my friends are in. They contribute all the time. The man into assembly no kasi amaniska. Ono oba Ghana. Ono ankasa from despite own mouth. The woman who on own tantron yeshe. Also a command sika. What in the baby so a komodo bruni skadana. Yes, I'm on a car 1 week no. Into scabbing you na ope. Anyama winning na ema me Akosua Sewa evidently is there. Into scabbing you na me Akosua Sewa. Ema me Akosua Sewa osi scabbing na nkayen fama no na nkema na ni enje. Ema ni me yekuna. Adepa back to me cases no we have time because some of the things are rude and
Ebusia for me time or say, my 30 seconds and friend. Ebusia for me, Selmo, Obia tap screen so you do 100K, Miss Selmo. I check tap and niche trap, papa, Obia tap screen so after so Miss Selmo say, Obikasa, when he saw, when he, I like the fact say, what's the name? Sister Juma Baha, you guys did amazing. Omo Baha so Omokasa, so one give to Omo, na Omo who say, omo ye adwuma and afi so wo ha wo follow page na mama ha ye ba be platform na de bia meka no to be an obi betwero na de pa na I think so with legal wife e bo the parting to wo ba mo breu e be se e mo na moble me si me gina mfimfim me gina ha so botan de adwuma na from the one me ye ne no na me ye me teta da me sesa so da me wo ha se me se both parties na say both teams ni nyina se de money tua no omo abaha no from the one onim se de mesi medwuma de ye no ana me ye me nsesa so da me platform ne wo ha for obia ene sister ti wa abaha say asante kwen baha no mo so mpeso mo kasa me platform na ye wo ho e de mo makasa nti enye for obia de ti no mesrew se obi baha na fan wo mpe na sama me ti me nya madwe se me beko ayi e kana say entokwa no mo kono ayi omo kona wa wo house men ko ha me wo have bia common has some funny common enemy fight whatever they call it. I'm not going to fight common enemy fight me jina ha mo bia obia me busua ni TikTok ha de team ni me nyina me busua fo nti no wo de oba ha sei wo asem bia mema wo kwan ma obeka wasem mo ka wasem bia certain questions me amete ha me bisa wo me bisa so bia na me bisa from other opponent and the nkom bebisa wo na me bisa wo you know me bisa ya na nyese bia se na tese misra mo mompa WhatsApp na montru gift empama guest no any page no na afi so mon follow page no empama me da say story je to aso
back to Yama me Akosua Sewa marriage no. Yeah, and the bia say asante didi asante kai. Yeah, na yin chini pass the because so yeah then on that lumba bre. We can never take that away from the lady. Yeah, Akosua say wa bre. No other the lumba na ka on nyum. But adi bi a hyase bi a won ewie. Say the lumba no bebo ne bra na wie no. So na warrior so eto da won ewie. Marriage is not a do or die affair. No aba. It's not saying so yes say marriage is not an investment. No so a statement that ho. Mama Akosua say wa he's a wife. But she is not a legal wife. Because first of all, call court no. When to be provided and court deal with evidence and civil marriage, there's no amount of words. There's nothing that can change the fact that civil marriage goes with a certification. Nansenya na traditional marriage so abase we register that. But no cry no endi mfiri mu se be ma ntimi nware bi no. Nti aware bi eni ho. Civil marriage bi eni ho. Daddy Lumba nyansani so far ne nnwom you can never leave out say oh boy nyansa for two as intelligent as smart as he is wetimi ahwenema ohwenema poster ohwenema educational backgrounds you can clearly tell say if there was any marriage there was any civil marriage that Lumba would have informed his lawyers and duly so. We were just adding to our casa because Mammy Akosua say wa call court when to me and provide Bibia. And I'm saying this, and you're not one call court to say and farman. Our the chess on any kunukura to feel after few which your mom me into account. When to me a farmer. And there's nothing like civil marriage. And as it stands now, like I've stated the processes of the appeal, no, there's nothing that will change that. Until let's get over it and accept the fact that the man married 2 wives. There will never be a civil marriage. There's no civil marriage anywhere. Or one was a civil marriage. Uncle, we our Dobruni, your cards was or the uncle. On one uncle ra officer. On fat camera and sinister. No record, no uncle marriage certificate in marriage. Be anyhow. A move being put in a baby now down at the end and one. As it stands now, they are both 2 wives. All letters of administration, no. Yes, I catch us on country on one the co-wife. Ne rival, which is Odobruni. No mummy in Antanase. No moon sign appeal, or moon sign for our record, no moon famra. Ain't it or own thing or your legal wife for baby? The same responsibility, the same duty, the same sharing of the properties, the same thing. The same respect we give to Odobruni, we should give the same respect to Mammy Akosua Sewa. And I don't know why I'm for a platform or else or patch up, else or the only a chow per bia pobia. Only a chow pa the presla fusuni a chow per bia or cofa or copa a sewa fusu. Only ni a chow per bia. And let's state it clear. They are both wives, and that do what's not sene no castle be waribia can one cobessa waribia can. The bia metna hameka. That the Lumba on any Nuntinia, he was very, 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 very intentional about everything he did. Or champ now my the way and Prancy chain with Denise Mame. Denise Mame, Omejina baby as way ye, even though say Denise and you do baby no. Konoso legal right on him say more for. Now could you court take a car. Said your mocha say I court in here the service to Yamamia Akosua say one. On him say more for. And I would me could not court to claim say we ye. Konoso beka could not hobi because on swallow. That Lumba worry mammy no or display no bon your mom than da. Ninyumu obo presla fusu ninyumu obo Akosua Sewa fusu ewum. Mammy no ma can the other guy no Dele no say one year or Denise mame. Odo mu sie ye. Odo Bruni were displayed everywhere. Or nature president. Or nature o baby and obekubia no neko. That's what wives do. The video oye chiomano. Ebia na nada de Lumba. Odi ye Odo Bruni. The wound now also won't share ya. Go ahead ye chiomano. The same thing. Ye display no. Ye de neko baby almost show bia ni kunu bekubia ujina. The same thing oye. Until that's the difference. Until accept it. Yeah, for some accept it because when you're caught, and I won't him fee, sana woho. In the day of sharing the properties, and no one beba. What he has also now who is also a catch when the sharing of the properties are beginning, we will consider the minors, which is Odobroni mano. They are far ahead. And all calculators so more doors or on the man doors. Into Odobroni is far ahead. With 6 cases and as a wife. Into whatever fight you are fighting for, penny ye tuning in tune, it doesn't end society. Odobroni is leading everywhere. Or call our real nimuno, or mani kunuhui, or the security bond na warrior home by. There are so many ways you have to guide your marriage. Sometimes if it's true having a lot of cares. Mene maami bi atena ono okaje so ono ni kunu o ma ni kunu fa ni sika nkodin nkwase asem nti ne ma wa wo sis ne ma ni nyina school o mo koya aboden nti ne kunu ni nya sika na odi akotwa ne ho. That's a way of securing your marriages. Nti wo hana so so mo ware ho ban a odobro ni dead. Nti na dadi lumba kofa ano no dadi lumba one ye maami akoso ase wa ho no one ma tu na wo separately obehu odobro ni no wa anya sa odobro ni secure the man, make sure that the man was good. Until said that the lumber wuyen and the baby am high, unlike in the previous the other marriage. The Pama fan see us in the substance of the issue and Nediano in a bath. The pa or in a bath and no be kind and mimi baby daddy the be from the very jump or in a bad assassin and by catching assassin no. Ye or in a banana be catch as said man no the sooner so just in a disrespectful way. Na ye or in a ba na be catch as a letter in your nye Akosua hene ne Troy and also on a Troy. Me, in my fair judgment, I thought that he could have done better by leaving it just like that. Na teams na fanya di omo de bay. But steady, me nim den channel, and I nim dia what's it, and I nim the man go ahead so me head oye. Oye we and me fanya me submission that sebusia penny year two no see in two no. In fact, my friends no more odobro in crowd will tell you say me I even use the word ex-ebusia penny. Just to make some people feel better. Because after 8 months of this case, that's a team see me, you know, na match and that's about you should give them some benefits. I did do a while, also as I can do makoma. Intimate to sack and me kebi. Me can't exebution penny, just to let them feel better. And TBB and free me home. And then Enfa Odobroni properties na ye share no, Enfa Bibi nkoka ho. And that the lumba 1 year na ne mano asase almost strategize or more planning no. Enfa busuafo na nya hwe. Inti I didn't expect Ohineba to come and say this. But I no sabi. Me respect no. I listen to him more often. Me pass antisema and Nansia na Renrana make us Nansia no menshia ne other platforms so aba. I was so kind him for some, but who study media and now power antisemitia. Ohineba was the pioneers. Ono na na oni on you uko YouTube so the numbers are there. Oba ne other Facebook pages so now we call the TikTok so you can tell say or numbers no. And in this game we deal with numbers. Or content in here very good that you wouldn't get the numbers. At the power high. Into numbers and run up very high. Nti me discredit in so but me say as some there be on one can answer. Asem bi wo ho ase chiame no. In fact, Akosua hene or chiame. If there should be any case, nkofo na omo ba show no, there be omo asem omo kan no. Omo say are you the right person to give this information? Obviously not. In the case now, I me put a lightweight on it. Let's get back to Ochuno Kwasimo Bekai. Ochuno Kwasimo Bekai. And Ohineba once again, I think that the statement I wasn't in this place to say it. Say a Akosua Hine and no Busami, I didn't even want to talk about it. Because Akosua Hine represents Asante. And I'm saying in this case, I will never put Daddy Lumba, even Daddy Lumba na me penasa, I will never put Daddy Lumba on top of Asante Sep. Masante Sep me. And I represent Kurami free so. To me, if I be Bibia meeting then I talk first before Masante again. I can never put anything else on top of Masante Sep. Respect them and I abide by everything they say. Nana no nyansa because so kwa menshia himfia and in the floor near Kukudam. Oko efidasa man hene ho a akọ university papa. Enye mere people ne gu menshia they are lawyers, they are judges, they are DNI, they are security agents. Obenya bibia bi wo. Until when they sit down to talk about case now, it's just like okokota ye kan wansama. Until nyemani bi wo ha na me expect so ba beka. Ochuno kodi bia ba beto so. People are pushing it, especially Timodo Bruni from they are pushing it. So oheneba mra no mekasa. I don't think say the benefit bi abeba. Oheneba. If you are listening to me or anybody knows or anybody, I will tell you, don't let them push you. Because when I unim koma unim kofudi, ye enye neni anymore. The Ebeyan saw the recording beba, which I definitely know said there are records over there on an kasana. Because this case, you know how we will go. But a more BM pushu. Emma umi woman she any mass, emi gu asante any mass. We better say woman she any mass say. Also, whether you like it or not, as it stands now, or representing share. Yin two na
conclude ya mama pacho.
the patrol yin two na dear so.
Ama, you're ready. Una over casta, but before then, I will open up for questions. Why, Mama B. If I try to make casta.
Adepa kame na
Sorry,
me
sorry.
kasa.
Yo, at the pampa show you, Mate.
As it stands now, purpose and he in two na dear so. Into say social media and kwan na open credibility back there. Ukunyane ukofa purpose heneba. Mani be jina ofa mic e de kasa say ampa ono na enyo onyo na endorse say to purpose hene krana. People wouldn't believe it. Into talk about credibility na am say me sign me hone de. Mesro they drew more there so the dog this audio no or whatever evidence you have and all the bad there. I don't think that this is the right time. Leave the team to fight their own fight. A social media battle. Until it will be like that. The obey be an omunju win this area. Okofa voice in the crowd a bossy see ya. Or maka says no or the AI and I. Yawaha. And NDC of Chama or no one casa pujina baby or Kasai. You're recording or saying no. Until the obey and would a video. Then there were two places, our court and our mention. Let them handle this case. And if I were you, I would leave just like that. Until other party, I also make
You, maybe my question, 5 minutes for questions. Akosua tea. What to say? Rosemary ni ana. Enyo no abi. Oh, jawa sam.
Na efeni say lawyer Juma na me wo question ma no. Na me say wo ko. Me patcho me question ba ko pe na me wo. On say before na ye hu ni say busuapani ne di kan oni baba jama mu ne di kan throw letter. In recent times ni abehu say maami Akosua throw letter mienu ba ko September 1st and was actually another one September 10th 2025. And sana ebusuapani ni baba jama mo be respond in October. Inti me pacho wo question na me pese mi bisan say maami Akosua throw letter no as a council for Fosu family. Na me pese mi bisa say maami Akosua that moment na throw letter no na Fosu family no wanka ho ana because wuji tum say baba jama ye council for Fosu family a na say ebusuapani ye ne me bi kura no wani nyi ho a adan na won throw letter mfa nkohye ebusuapani nsem na ebusuapani na ankasa nkopene council na emo ko throw letter ne do ko baba jama on behalf of ebusuapani no wo mo maka senka Juma ye lawyer inti na me pete cause Juma make statement bi say wo mutua
future wa ha ebi obetimi aboa future mpe wa ha ebi obetimi aboa
on make statement bi say omutua Priscilla legal fee but maami Akosua de omuntua but say we follow letters ne ade a you see say maami Akosua na nkasa from beginning in September mu ho no and o choose so no abekwa akofa ne council and I just say wono no fa ne council no and no acting as though say baba jama mo which she referred to them as Fosu council no omo ye lawyers for ebusuapani lawyers for odobroni lawyers for funeral committee eye maami Akosua na assign lawyers to these people because ocho letter command crofo we mu e de command baba jama say won oni omu communicate ntimi eho kaka na menti ase because we yes ade then one kasa no decide say baba jama mo nyon lawyers inti say why na nsa metua legal fee me nti ho na asa kakra.
Okay, nim say obi betimi aboa for future pacho question na Akosua ebisa no menim say wo answer.
I think you just asking the general question.
Based on
general question.
No, it was Jemima na ebisa ebiki ebi. Aha, just say no na obisa ehun question.
Okay, oba na me about the Akosua kind of many where is a general oba say because that means does it mean to say for them to address the letter to Baba Jama on behalf of Busapen, does that mean somebody can't try letter come on and until I'm hu nipa on address it on send a letter na come on na.
Okay, My future my member wow. Do you remember make a statement be say who say lawyers no I supposedly no omo chema eye abusuapani ene ojana ho ma sorry abusua no anase daddy lumba no omo nye daddy lumba truly anase family no lawyers because enkomo no lawyers a enka omo ka omo so betua ebia akosua mama akosua se wa the illegal fee anase enkomo begina mfimfin what I say but this is the situation automatic side right now no sika lawyer fee ni ade nyina no when it comes to odobroni a omo na take care of is being taken care of what I say but mama akosua se wa de oni obi a oboa no ti se nkenye omo timi legal wife aso omo so region omo so enne ma omo so ehu se na omo so also omo boa maame no that bibi sa na no ka
It's been taken care of. That do my busa question. It's been taken care of. Since lawyers in there, they have to say although Bruni lawyer was although Bruni the trianica. Anna or busa pen lawyer was a busa. I mean, busa opinion or so I know some artists busa pen because it's can be no there, but lawyer.
sika
Lawyer,
exactly
when I would try until you know Parkoso family when I was a witcher, so I'm more representing my more lawyer now would try on. That's how it's supposed to be. Minimum how a whole side no.
Mami sorry free me question. Maybe I will betting abwami. So ebusuapani Kofi Wusu wan kofa lawyer wan contact Baba Jamamo. Mami Akosua tro letter. Letter ni mu no or the letter no koma ebusuapani people are address wo ebusuapani Priscilla Fosu.
Mama Akosua letter no patch obi how bit my kind head no. How
From September 10th but Mr. Wa fache me dia me de kasa na na wo so. Me danyane yenche.
Kabema Bempomaa kind of. Mama say I was introduce a letter no say on behalf whatever because lawyer there also for lawyer.
Future now I mean promo. What address Baba Jamamo as the counsel for Futu family. Tio. Tanka wo choko mo tra kran Kenya ma. Was the counsel for Futu family not just a Baba Jamamo no. Mami Akosua say wa jitu mu say Futu family for legal affairs nyina no mu no mu gina mu ma no. Na I see people make arguments say Busuapeni won't come for Su family ho. They are right. But the thing is, I nipa no on come for Su family ho a. Woni Busuapeni wa asama. Ade na won tro let them fan come Busuapeni. Na Busuapeni no mama won say, "Eh, asama ba ma me ko pe lawyer." Eba me say na wo a wo come for Su family no ho no wo sa tro let kwama council for Su family. So onfa nkaibo no nkoma Busuapeni no onfa ma Priscilla no onfa ma funua committee then no it looks as if from beginning when you hu afifu so family e wona menti ase no
Akosua denta me say
ya dem ye dame ye hu no yaka say maame na safa no no kofa lawyer no no na legal fees menti hona se
okay the me can say the denta me busa kan sa question say ka obi abempan kan na me hwe how we start no top no bibia no where letter Baba Jamam responded. Where letter Baba Jamam responded to my no 2 letters now by now. Where's our letter now? I'm responding now. I'm responding. Almost say we write on the behalf of our client. Because of family and the you know, mom already know they are the lawyers and the client. You know, with us, I was something who let the lesson now.
Why am I client? Future.
Baba Jamam letter no. Baba Jamam letter now. I'm responding to
Baba Jamam letter was in October.
Matthias, I'm responding. No, listen.
Why are you talking about October?
I'm responding there. I'm responding
to my many 2 letters. No, almost we write on behalf of our client. Many letter no, but that's what I've read. We write on behalf of our client, Akosua royal family, and then wherever. Who's that letter? No, I'm responding.
2 letters now will count.
Yes, I'm responding to 2 letters. No man can. On your first of almost a letter, almost on first of
Debbie. I'm saying Akosua do call him so one to Akosua.
Mati Akosua tie. The entire I'm make catch Akosua bampan kan sa letter. But I'm sure say omo lawyers ne na come Baba Jamam responded to letter. Omo ka say we write on behalf of our client. Ntina be say bampan kan na me how ma men si.
Debbie, Abusuapeni listen. Abusuapeni when Abusuapeni nya case a e ono nko ani case o. A ono akofa na lawyers which is Baba Jamam and no one has always been there. Yes.
Case bang.
Oh, na Abusuapeni so you Brempomaa de court no nya no ani case. Ana
then it's been promoted the card in the court and son of Baba Jamam letter ne ba ma respond there na.
Oh, and future. Oh my
No, no,
God.
your question. I'm trying to understand. Maybe I'm the
Enti na make it say you
No,
are
you
not
see,
understanding
Frida,
Akosua but also what you say.
On some make us a sequence of events. Mami
Penny's case is that
Akosua
Bempa
yin
can let
cheche
you know.
me.
I'm
I
here.
think say be a Bempa bet me cheche
Bempa
Bempa
read
cheche
the
me.
salad and I'm actually can I'm here.
That's from kind of
okay.
September.
Adepa, the first letter I have here, I don't have the first one. I think I
So
need
you
to
have the second letter.
check my last,
Let
but I
her
have
be
the
na
10th.
okan. Let her be
I
na
have the 10th.
10th. Read the 10th for
I
me. I
think
had it.
Mama Akosua said what letter on
Yeah,
the 10th, no?
read everything on verbatim. How must you address it? Be
And
up to this one.
it's on the letterhead of Kwaku Adair Law
Uh-huh.
Office. Abusuapenyi Victor Kofi Usu, Priscilla Oforiata, aka Odobroni, and Funeral Planning Committee through Fate Yali Allah Esquire, Council for Fosu Family, Baba Jama and Associates. Do I have to read the entire letter?
Yeah,
Oh, you
read at least one or two paragraph. One paragraph would be
Okay.
the
Dear Council, notice of ordinance marriage between Mrs. Afosia Sewa Fosu and Charles Kojo Fosu, aka Dadelumba. We act on the instruction of Mrs. Akosia Sewa Fosu, wife of the late Charles Kojo Fosu, hereafter referred to as our client, of Accra, Ghana, and Germany. As a sequel to our letter dated 1st September 2025, which was addressed to you for the attention of your client on the instruction of Mrs. Akosia Sewa Fosu, wife of the late Charles Kojo Fosu. Our client further instructs us to inform you to bring the content of this instant letter to the above named addressees, as we have been informed that you act as counsel for them.
Exactly.
That means
Okay, pause. That
Yes.
means before some address in the sano, that means they will have some knowledge. Say they are representing the people because lawyer ultimate let and come will be wabla unim the panel to another lawyer say who said this lawyer not represent this person or address it. Internal person material.
Okay.
What I say?
Second letter, Mami Okosia Troye. In this letter, she even referred to the first letter, which was done in September 1st. What I
Okay.
say? And
But
I don't
what I want to
understand
tell you when you say
the
before I'm gonna say better what I want to tell you when you say okofa lawyer una ofia lawyer nika nti ho no menya hu musa e bia jimama na e kana sem okofa lawyer me kofa lawyer no court no assembly court
We say na
assembly
ka o
court
say
no you hu declare o ma represent it.
o pese o baby sa jema ba jema ono
That's fine. Nti no me nim de
wo.
ja kan but what I want to tell you is okofa lawyer una obetwa deka o he case e court na you call e hu abusia penny lawyer and you ma odobro no funeral either we hu funeral homes no it no lawyer present the client ukofa lawyer wona betwa lawyer ka okay lawyer or no he act under the instruction of the client okay we must send a case na here lawyer acts under the instruction of the client na mtisa obusia penny call you or say I want and represent those all those things matititi lawyer will represent the client and I want to betwa lawyer ka no client because of case no because I watch what case now me be lawyer will be after the pay will be or your lawyer will be me lawyer mami na me say me kasa the power prepare the assembly ko na me kasa me nyan to aso bi ma say be there with time I work them and me twa me kasa me kwa lawyer ntimi force me that's the way it is.
Adepa, here is the point Abusia Penny has made, and I believe I support Abusia Penny's argument. Abusia Penny say ono nko na tena ho a ananka asem wemba ya anka obi amfa ne court. Until for anybody who takes him to the court about this issue, the bail is on Daddy Lumba. And I think the argument is fair.
Okay, Bemba. So
Okay,
sound
me
so.
ba okay.
Feature macho.
Me wana
Let me
we
ask you a question.
Bemba sound so. Yeah, we do be court. In me just say, time I make us Baba Jaman reply. Mo ka say react on under the instruction of Akosua family, royal family said the no. Didn't na Bemba be do akoko. Said there was a letter response to that two letters no. And I'm challenge.
I don't think say that even that I'm saying say even if say Abusia Penny tena ho ana Abusia Penny no kwa di control letter no na the subject of the letter enye Abusia Penny ma enye Abusia Penny asase enye Abusia Penny ka about
Bempa, listen to this. There's a difference here that people are not getting it right. There have been Baba Jama representing Abusia Penny using the Ekwana Abusia. It's a letter headed like that. And there has been Baba Jama representing Ebusuapenyi as Fosu family. And no na Ebusuapenyi kase. So we refer na wo de ne ka Fosu family no ho dia. And no de wo de na ka ho so wo gina ho amada dumba. And no de wo de that dumba sika na betua. But the Brempomaa de ko gina court there, you can't question where he got his money from. And no de ono na de kwetwe man so ono na kofa Baba Jama amodo omo call court. Omo mfa eyi ni nto so. Wa address na ho say Fosu family or address na ho say ekwo na abusua. Nti that's a separate money.
Other storage, Mr. Medical say time na or more
Future, I don't think so. Conversation. Anything America is all conversation.
Oh, my main customer, I don't think.
No, my the American. You know, this conversation is not about you. The American is it's not about you. Question now, Busana, Akosua Busana. It has nothing to do with
the statement now making Sisiana may draw attention to something. Statement now making Sisiana, but I'm sure say Baba Jama am letter now respond to 2 letters no. And I'm not sure that no. Okay, out on the public. Or respond. What see we act under the we act on the behalf of our client. Okay, I say Akosua family. Okay, but Baba Jama am responding. Or I can say they didn't respond. Remember, they didn't respond to the council for the Fosu family. They responded and say, I'm going to represent Akosua family.
Okay. Okay.
Bempa, Baba Jama response no. Let us. I'm responding you. Let us. I'm responding you. Read the first. Read the 5 paragraph.
Letter. Na nipa na de ehye wo kon se nipa no lawyer ni ntime de koma no on kan sam nkyere wa already na nipa na assign lawyer to you assign
nipa na o twele letter on be assign lawyer na say wow de nipa no oni mu lawyer na o kwetwere mistake no one ko pass lawyer because of say nipa na mistake
on one kasa no distance himself from Baba Jama
Bempa me say read Baba Jama response na ma asem ko say odini diba imukra flyer imukra no my favor read the first read the first paragraph let her say Baba Jama respond address read it, let's see. Baba Bempa read this here.
Future to was yes and you do come into me free September and October.
September, babe. I don't know
the first initial letter, but you want to skip
I think we are going on and on and on about nothing, to be honest.
Future, you don't have to answer every question.
You don't have to answer. Answer question. You don't have to answer. I'm answering your question. What can I say? Why
do you feel
that are you reading it?
Which one? Which document?
Dear Baba Jama, I'm responding to my I'm responding to my
okay, I have you here, but hold on, just a quick one. What are we trying to get from this letter?
Brother Mitchell said, I'm responding to a letter no. I'm say council for Fosu family. So maybe I'm just being general, but I didn't tell I'm responding or say I'm acting on behalf of my client. I'm client and I'm behind. I'm going to Akosua family. I'm going to Fosu family. Say, my man can't say, well, don't bring anyway. So I'm kind.
Okay, let me just.
So, no, sorry, say, hey, but I can't say Fosu family, but I was a penny and a bear, but there, Brempomaa on the call, no church, but I say no. So, here's our letter in the crowd. It was addressed to, reply, I'm client, or Casa Fosu for
future member, Akosua, so letter now, can send it. Obetimi a share ma friend say
Mr. Bempa kan no what kind top in the future na me tell say future
no that's not
the first paragraph. Okay, Akosua, I'm reading the first paragraph.
I'm responding the same.
See, we asked
na me bisa ye na e for djuma na intimi.
It's not for you. Na make na want to say no.
You don't understand the context of this.
Hold on. Okay, it's for Jemima. Jemima will ask our question here. At the part I'm saying, mention margin. It's like
okay, what the future.
Okay, it's our response. No, but the mama letter now. You can see, say, Unipa, no, much some represented. Very well, you can hear it. I'm only giving you the answer. I'm not challenging anybody.
future
but
me pa
I'm
to
just
I'm
giving
senka
you
I'm
wa
what
I'm
the
me
letter
wa
say.
enka
I'm
wo
from
me
Okay.
America,
senka
so
me
maybe
And
I
address
also,
could
hope I
be
say,
jumana
be now, person be
free
man, I'm
anytime.
on Dinama, my pace stuff, and I said, I
future
don't
me
get
pa
it.
How
to
the
Sugar
senka
future
side.
to
senka
future
wa
to.
me ene me pa mo cho me da ma se me ko because future so ma me nwie senka wa ma mu anka beti se me address jumana question na me bisa na me se jumana say ani die mu so wo answer na me se no on fan send me because me person me ho kasa wie ye no wa me ye misa questions and wo call ye me so na questions na kama num and I miss me nkasa say nti na wo say me ba be bisa say me sre na if she has the answer to why nti ama me Akosua September no distancing herself from the family council na emum no wo issue letter to abusua penny ni Priscilla through the family council na ehwo no na me pese me tina se the enti a man yes I was she advised by her council the enti no distancing herself because ontimi distancing herself ye wi ani abeka se maame no ono kwa na etua ne legal fees no ono kwa no me sheda ante ho na se enti me pamocho me da wase obi ba me da ase Mr. Bempa ye behia
I don't patch your
Ate
mammy to us with you.
Akosua.
And that's it.
Pacho hadi me pa ayi nkasa ma nkasa di me ori ano kasa pacho. We dey me dey paso. Ama kasa.
Yo, adepa medase. Adepa anope die. I think say, yeah, like you're saying, yeah, both sides ni yaba. Or my baby can be become on my idea. Yeah, don't want say pa. Adepa. First and foremost, because I can say, ebusua penyi, ex ebusua penyi Kofi Usu. Um, ɛyɛ me de na ɛsan yɛ me ya sɛ nneɛma aba bɛsi because asɛm wei deɛ nka na memfeel sɛ nka yɛbɛduru ha. I didn't think sɛ nka yɛ necessary sɛ nka yɛbɛduru point yi a yɛduru yi. Ɛfiri sɛ nka ɔno deɛ asɛ abusuapanyin deɛ nka mmaa nsɛm ka deɛ nka ɛnyɛ den. Nka ɔde mmaa mmienu no tena ase nea yɛtumi nya a yɛba agreement a nka ɛnyɛ ne sɛ aba abɛsisi because me sure sɛ paako sofoɔ no koraa na ɔmo mpɛ ne saa obi ani hɔ a ɔpɛ twitwi wɔ n'abusua mu but anyway ɛnyɛ aba nti no yɛbɛfa ne saa moving forward no there are lessons to be learned yɛnia yɛyɛ mistakes deɛ hia ne sɛ wobɛyɛ ɛyi wobɛsua wobɛnya adesua bi afiri mu secondly nso so no mepɛ sɛ meka sɛ maame Akosua sɛ wa in fact ɔyɛ a real pace setter. Ɔbaeɛ ne case yi ɔstarteeɛ ne ade yi ɛtumi ebie nipa ani ɛtumi ebie ɛkwan ama mmaa te nneɛma bi ase ɛfiri sɛ me ne obi di nkɔmmɔ sisi akra no obi kasa na ɔkaeɛ na as educated as this person is no ɔse na onim sɛ woware legally a wontumi nware bi nka ho ɛyɛ me nwanwa but ɛyɛ lumba asɛm yi na ebie n'ani na nipa bebree nim na mehunu sɛ saa na mpanyinfoɔ bebree wɔ yɛ kuro ne so a wɔmayɛ the same mistake. Wɔn wɔ legal wives wɔ hɔ a wɔreware bi aka ho. Enti no, ɛyɛ anibie paa. Maame Akosua sɛ wabɛbie nipa ani wɔ Ghana. Wabɛbie yɛ adwene mu. Wama yɛ di nkɔmmɔ. Wama yɛ akyerɛkyerɛ. Obi ti sɛ future ne other legal practitioners anaasɛ wɔn wɔ process mu a wɔn de getting called to the bar wɔn wɔ school ni adeɛ ni ano wɔn tumi aba bɛkyerɛkyerɛ yɛn nneɛma paa ne yɛn nim sɛ beebi wɔ hɔ koraa wɔware a ɛnyɛ yie sɛ ne mmaa wɔyɛ ɔbaa na sɛ wɔwɔ ha na wɔretie a ɛnyɛ beebi akora ne yɛsɛ yɛware a ɛyɛ legal nti wokɔyɛ o wedding wɔ beach biara no beach wedding na sɛ one go through the right process a yɛtumi ka sɛ wɔware ne yɛ legal ti nyame nhyira maame Akosua beebi a ɔwɔ biara ɔno nso so ne mistakes bi a ɔyɛɛ no wɔasua lessons to be learned. Nnura mete sɛ yɛse sɔfo panyin bi koraa yere ɔno nso so no wastarting na ɔno ano so no litigation ne nyinaa no mehu ne sɛ ɛyɛ mmaa ani bie mmaa are now empowered to make changes for themselves ti yɛda nyame ase mepɛ sɛ meka sɛ metie Oheneba interview first time no. Metie ne it wasn't an interview but oba live ebe kan asem about so what is pa Onipa Akosua huni edi nkomo anase or my feedback be from Pakoso family. Me person me can say ɛho sɛ nsɛm wodu adepae a wotu yɛfo ɛwɔ saa o platform yi so say woka obi asɛm anaasɛ if you are relaying information be careful. Me say aya wotumi ma me hard time pa because me nim sɛ when I am on fire ɛtɔ da bi a I will just release without thinking. I think sɛ first na menhyɛ da nte social media na se na mente game na se yie. To say deɛ mate aseɛ kakra nti mehu sɛ me kasa ahoɔden so me nya wrinkles kakra wɔ m'anim me waste me time paa me waste my ahoɔden paa there was no need nti no sɛ ɔheneba medias much as ɔwɔ reputation ɔwɔ respect ebi a menim ne credentials deɛ but at least na watumi abuilde ne reputation akoduru baabi I pray say he will not give up. Yes, it's Obi can say he hit a threshold, and I say he or no one misconducting a hokakra or no one mistakes away. Won't give it up, but he should learn moving forward. No, who say and yet casting nyina na woka you get away with it. Baby, wo kwa ukona sa uko cancer ma you be so more, especially in a case like this, no. Because obi any abre and a very serious issue affect families' lives. You know, and not just say be I will laugh for one thing and now say one anxiety to get somewhere in internet or banal be candy ope. And no the any yes sir. Obi in trema you know. Sana me and not that issue no or anybody no. Sana me pesa meka. Adepa me pesa me hu how enipa bi dwen say oba kwa aware ya maami panyin okwa aware ne nkola brem okoye de ebesi bi asi sa aware no that the lumba ekwan yo fa so one ne tenaye no ono ananim dwuma na ekasa na oka bibi o confirm me bibi what I have always thought say maami no onkasa onka na waresem oni ni kunu nia for years ni ente ensembia bi have that the lumba or one confidence into no waka ne nsɛm akyerɛ wo but ɔne ne yere awareɛ deɛ wamfa mba abɔnten awareɛ no mu no there has been infidelity which is evidenced by nkwalaa ayana I wonder say asɛmi call court no lawyer ne ka bibi I wish say ne will be bɛma mate aseɛ I believe say conduct also means a lot say yakɔ court about asɛm na say judge no hear the tone of the case no now who say na infidelity bibi a na ekoso ewom na o pese o identify nipa baako o call it out nipa baako pe a conductor me shada nte ase na wonder say na I wonder say Judge Dorinda or share in sending nyinaa na ɔkaayɛ anaa maame Akosua asɛm nko ara na o pay attention to because sɛ nipa mienu edi bɔne deɛ a sɛ nipa mienu baako pay attention wa abandon the family like you want to say wa abandon ne kunu na sɛ baako so no was involved in infidelity constantly ama nkwalaa bem ne ade a adan na consider baako nko a adan na consider mienu ni nia mistakes omo ye na ode baako nko ade na me wonder say maame Akosua call court say oko prove the kind of a wife she is Now say, Mammy Akosua call court. So research she is a wife. Sasem no, a play what my dream why, where she said ne, will be better answer me. Because even though conduct matters, no, I believe say both sides were not innocent. Nti no, if that is used against her, that automatically discredits her from her your friend is saying ordinance marriage, her claim for her ordinance marriage. Media me person be no be here. Why it is so? Because any kase onya yere kra, but the conduct no does it justify because ene the ensem bebre ayeba ena why or can we chantro ka se na ne basha inti wa magana ena you or can so to your mortgage and so no there are no receipts to show. I don't think some Mami Akosua ya yeti abrochira yeti fie mu a yenim responsibilities that comes with maintaining a house no. I don't think so no to fie mu kwa. If you aside from mortgage, utria insurance. Aside from insurance now utria maintenance. So that be depending on the neighborhood uti utria HOA. I don't know if saa nneɛma no nyinaa no na that the lumba fulfill them because saa nneɛma no nyɛ nneɛma a you pay ahead of time. Untumi nka sɛ metua saa nneɛma no nyinaa wie. Saa nneɛma no every month, monthly expenses a wotua. You know, nti sɛ ɔka sɛ, you know, that is part of their business living in Germany. Nti ɔka sɛ na otua saa nneɛma no nyinaa ka, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that it should be argued. Minim de nti ɔbɛka sɛ okotwitwa ntorɔ na, you know, Abrocha sitting on Edding, coupled with the fact that she found herself as a single mother, maintaining a household and caring for children. In fact, yeah, responsibility Edding, and then she was a working mother. Inti no me peso bi chema sie how ya kokota dachi misumi de be futu ama me ho. Say, is it the kind of me kochirese me your wife ye be bisa me say what kind of a wife are you? And answer that, me kokansa akola bi ye me ba. You say, what kind of a mother are you? Me say, I am the mother. You say, any your friend say, due to this and this circumstances, no. You made mistakes as a mother, so you are no more the child's mother. Into Rebecca Sakolani, your adopted child. I don't know. Maybe I'm comparing apples to oranges. But me per se will be future with you legal background. No. And person who educate me kakra say, why does Obi call court to prove an ordinance marriage? No? Na afebie. Yeah, ba analyze ne conduct as a wife and as any behavior as a wife, or why does it matter? I just want to understand that part. The other part that's it.
Adepa me pacho, mami
Adepa,
mami kakra. Answer
oh,
no be
so hold on.
addressing the situation. Mami bisa the question back up.
Dabi, obusa question mani wi answer ana. Mani wi na
Okay,
so
because
busa
what
do.
can be about mortgage in
Yeah,
terms
any
of
troto, what a
question.
troto.
Okay, Pacho, the mammy tie no,
Dabi,
Pacho,
pacho,
uncle, Pacho,
adepa te
okay.
o my busa. Yeah, answer
Mr.
question
Bempa,
answer.
don't worry. Oh, them Pacho, mammy be uncle, mammy be bisame. The opposite will be same.
Okay. Yɛn nyinaa yɛwɔ aburokyerɛ hanom. Sɛ wowɔ nkwadaa 3 a wɔsusu a na wotua mortgage na wo so woyɛ working
Sorry, uncle.
mepa sɛ
Me
baabi.
pacho, uncle pacho, question na ubi sana.
Ebisa no question. Yes, my question no ne sɛ
Mr. Bempa, what question we are now ubi sa pacho.
wɔsi deɛ na wɔtumi
Next
manage.
person now, obema ne submission after questions no, Mr. Bempa wona obema. I think say wona do so. Yeah, no one sa why Mr. Mo. Di ubebe mo na I think say obeto Mr. Bempa why pacho.
My question ne sɛ ɛsi deɛ na wɔtumi manage ne mortgage no na wɔsan tumi hwɛ nkwadaa no a wɔsusu nkwadaa 3 no at the same time.
Me Pacho, I am doing it. Ain't no, it's called working. And we are Juma, I guess you catch your quote according to your side. So won't you mean to your mortgage? Or show salary now won't you mean to your mortgage, dear. And once I'll be prepare apartment be basically, you match your finances to your
No, since
residence.
my question no unti aseɛ yi, wohwɛ nkwadaa
Uh-huh.
mmiɛnsa at the same time wɔn
Uh-huh.
nyinaa kɔ adwuma ɛna wɔnya
Uh-huh.
sika betua mortgage.
Of course. Why not? It's called working. Say, yeah, it depends on your salary.
No, Crammy,
It's
so
very
the Nasha
possible.
woman what to be Aquajuma.
Me patrol say,
A grand
where you my dear?
Quajuma.
Where you my dear? And run is all before babysitter and Uncle Anna and Yini, almost school.
Madam, you
Me,
not to a
me,
butcher, you said babysitter crown. Says Uberquajuma, this cannot be Triana crown. The
eh.
second diabetes, what to me send your mortgage. And you easy, you
Okay,
your mortgage,
okay, bra.
I know.
Okay, patrol, bra. Mommy, let me just, open myself up and tell you what I do. Me
You might
patrol,
say,
me ye night shift. Me ye
okay.
night shift. Me ye night shift. Me was student be a obeshe me mama me. Ain't me trianeka $50 every night. Into obeshe kwala na me ye juma 12-hour shift. Meba no na nketwa mienu na ọmụ for bus no meba no na wahwe ọma ma ọma fa bus na ọmụ na mpenyimfo no makosi ọmụ ana ọno akosi ọma ma me na maba. That's what I've been doing. And no ana me adwuma de tua me bills na me bibia. I don't know. You don't think it's possible?
I don't think it's possible.
Really? Oh
Yes, I
wow.
don't think it's possible.
You don't think that you don't think I, as a nurse
Meba.
I earn enough to do that?
My profession was listening with you, but I still say that it's not possible. No, correct.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, when you show me,
Mama Bao
and then
UK
I'm
na.
a magician, and I'm a magician. Pa,
Mama Bao UK.
pass
Ano.
me what US, pass me
Yes.
America.
Now I didn't know uncle was possible. This is how most of the people abroad they are doing.
Uncle, me pa baby say uncle
Yeah.
dent na wo susu say enu kwa say possible. Wo fi say obi e wo matre wo se wo je adwuma no na o de hwe nkra no nko ana pacho.
My main didn't America sign say
Mhm.
so we are night Oba so better.
Right.
And crowd three no. According to Lumba story no all bano na crowd ketwa pa wo. In crowd three so the two crowd and penfon school and I said ketwa no crowd school be pon or baba ko fa no time be na baba da yi abekọ adwuma back. How many hours and are we here within a night, within a week? I'll bet you a mortgage. It depends. So the mortgage, one bedroom, they are fine. But looking at the aking, I don't think so mortgage one bedroom mortgage.
Uncle, me mada 5 hours is for years. I'm not coming home. Me buffy, my bed
Obana,
for
yes,
five
say.
hours.
Obana, or yes, say.
Me money ya 4, and it includes a special needs child. I have 4 little ones, and I've been doing that
Yes.
since my last one was 1.5.
And now you're single parent.
Uncle
I
country
am a
then.
single mother.
No
Yes, I
UK, yeah,
am.
no UK.
It's possible
Now
though.
Yeah,
uncle look
possible.
at
At
only
the,
be say
at the
only
back,
be
I
say
say
more
if
for
we
yes
go,
sir.
if we go on the tangent of
Okay.
it's not
And no,
possible, we
no,
will not go
the
because
entire okay say
Uncle
possible.
only be say you
Me
can more for
sanka
yes
wo
Mepacho,
sir.
project to Ghana, uncle.
yeah,
Me sanka wo
5
project to
o'clock,
Ghana.
5:30,
Future,
5:30.
you can go
Na
first
me de
about
me
moon to your
ba
mortgage.
akoja
Most of
Oh,
them are
na
more
mortgage
school
yes sir. Say
than
mortgage
school
yeah. You
no
say you walk
school no
behind
omo
that
bie ne
wutia. Walk
6
behind that. Walk
o'clock
behind
Depends
that.
on
Yeah.
sis.
Say
it
that
depends
wutia.
on your pay
mortgage
though.
is
Odi
different from
nkwala
how
no
they are
koja
with
ho
you.
ana wo nkɔ adwuma
What do
wo
you mean by
bɛba no
mortgage?
nso
It
so na
depending
obi
that
akɔfa
yes,
wo mu
yes,
ama wo
yes. I will
sifo.
try it. The architect
It
come.
depends on
So
how much you pay per month.
and
That's
I make
the
sure
most
say into mortgage
important.
the highest yes because maybe maybe to reach over £1,000 a month. Any 3 bedrooms there. Into the mortgage, you know, say what we are saying. What the mortgage
And
depend on
so
50
to your
years.
mortgage, assume so to over £1,000 a month.
Uh-huh.
Now we are Juma.
That's
We are Juma. Now but you me, I don't think not someone coming in. He said, "Oh, will be
Oh no,
fifty
no, only
pounds,
because I want
fifty
yen because
dollars."
also a nurse. Nurse wouldn't be the one. Now or ma will be £50 for the money pan as and quan our Baba and mamma. And for 4 years all the time. I mean student I'm about minimum now for wouldn't because people be mamma. I don't know about my quadruma. My woman twin maybe I know our twins. I did that. I don't think fine, maybe I own our own say possible. Because possible you kind of blanket 100% China. Most people they do that. Okay, how I wish to say they might some people might even get the government support child benefit. And I can't be out of home. I know another lumber be a crowd and they come. I mean, some no guarantee. I know or some already heard them. Unless it's possible.
Okay. It depends on the individual actually,
Uh-huh.
and then every individual is different in regards to your salary and how smart and fast you are. What I say, be me multitask a lot. So also, or you're very slow. You know, until yes, the person can get
Mamma
tired
Kosa
easily.
profession ben
I
no
It
cry.
depends on
decay.
every individual. Yeah.
What's
Pa
in nurse? Mamma
me
Kosa
ne nurse
profession ben no cry.
practitioner bi adwuma. Ono so wo Still, or no so ye on collab for or the name mammy up room her and I name my mission and Jumasa, they be out.
ɛne deɛ
Into
mete
nipas
aseɛ
or not, it is 5 bedrooms, very nice neighborhood.
Yeah,
Eh,
it
ɛne
nenye,
trust
saa
me.
deɛ
bra,
mete
me
aseɛ
musuya
And
ne
just
sukra
say,
bebre ukrom ha
me
omonye
bow. I men can say it's possible, just that it will be tiring. It will be it's a lot of work. What I say, but say any possible. The baby know we are say impossible.
no the reason I
Oh
make us say
yes.
possible na de pa the thing I make us say possible na say ma me akosia onkura nursing profession onkura any other professional job so what I say
You
unless
need
say
they say you
we
need they say
enroll
you
And
need they
I'm
say
hearing
you need
this
they
for
say
the
when
first
you.
time. Well,
I
me
think so
can't
was
say
your
so a
nurse.
nurse.
okura profession
Hey,
be
The power on your nest, dear,
Awurade
and I'm
Nyame.
the kind
Yes.
okura
of
profession be
You will be so a nurse. Oh no, I have your nurse. I mean, the
okay me
certificate
me
one.
Ah, so
check
a registered nurse. That's what I know.
anya
on
na
your
kure
nest, dear, madam.
Why
anya na
would
kure
you just
Adepa.
conclude this on your nurse? I mean, where
na
hints
Yeah,
now
ɔtɔle
will
then
can
kɔhwɛ
then
bi
now
ma mayɛ
say.
17 na ne mayɛ 17
Me say me
so
me
then
ma
me to
ho.
fight a crow be
You
can
be
say.
ɔno
say
one
so
letter kora
No,
bi
be
ma mayɛ
champ.
17
Dabi
nso
Me
ba
tie
fa
ma
so
o
me
be
nka
champ
kyerɛ.
when it comes to be a juma you.
Ayi
Because me
twins
be champ.
Adepa. 6 o'clock mi ko ja wo mu 6 o'clock na me ma kɔ me kɔ. Nti meba no na ọmọ mekọ adwuma 2 times meba no na ọmọ apọn na makọfa wọ mu ɛwɔ school mu hɔ na 6 o'clock na yɛbie no yɛbie school na ankasa 8 o'clock 8 o'clock no na wɔn abie kwan bi wɔ school no inside na nkwadaa na wura mu ɛno no government ni na etwi ama me government ni na etwi ama
Ah.
me nti mede wɔn kɔ a ne makɔgya wɔn mu ɔno wɔn kɔ school no abi a na wɔn ama wɔn awura school no mu wɔn pɔn a na wɔn asa aba saa position no me pɔn second one na ma bɛfa wɔn mu na mede wɔn kɔ fie ade ti na ɛnyɛ possible ade ti na ɛnyɛ
Hey,
possible
no,
obiara ne kwan na ɔfa
undermine
so
the
fa
adepa
man
ne nneɛma
adepa
power.
yɛ
I'm
yɛka
really
se adepa
surprised.
yɛka
Let
US,
se
me
Let
say
me
yɛbɛtena
US,
know
they are
how
undermine
possible,
women.
but
yɛbɛtena
the
yi
pa, Europe one I'm at there, and possible.
oh
US there, me, I can say I know some females that are actually doing very great.
why do you think you when
Europe, they
you
don't do the
possible?
doubles and the triples like we are doing
Europe, their
here.
things are hard.
ɛna
Yes,
Europe no so
Wow.
Europe,
accommodation is
they
very
don't do that
expensive
today. Me,
mortgages
Europe,
aha
very
me
what's
deɛ
now?
ɛnyɛ
expensive
Europe na mewɔ na
Europe
menyɛ
country,
Europe na
man.
mewɔ
It depends.
Oh,
They
don't
do
ɛnyɛ
that.
Europe na
People do
mewɔ
good
don't
paid
subject
jobs.
yourself to
Ah,
what the
UK crowd, they do
don't
that.
take it
Yeah,
personal.
UK
It's
they
not
do
the
future
that.
case.
UK omu here but most of them
Oh,
no
say
omu here no
is it na
Obi a ɔyɛ
you
full time
no
no
say
ɔyɛ
it's
agency.
possible.
We agency ni full
Or
time. Agency no APOC.
Europe and
future
without
Uh-huh.
mortgage or
UK
Europe
no
with three
amount for
bedroom.
here but omu
Uh-huh.
here most no omu any mortgage
Now, my mortgage
most
now
ni
because
yẹn
mortgage,
na abẹ́tẹ̀rẹ̀
the
akonnwa akyere we know them we
Okay,
know
just say it
them
depends
mortgage,
on the
and
tea
it's
I
any
would
rent.
know.
You want to be extra. You want my deposit down payment. What make it down payment? And at the rest, depending how a down the ball and how long I will pay.
Okay, yeah, it
UK will
depends
make
on
a
the
down
dining
payment
for your
say well
location and
na
all
still
that.
na
Maybe a 20%,
20%
and
how
that's a
much
10.
it take if we were seeking
20%,
It's
yeah.
a
A
so one tap
20%.
possible.
20%. Uh-huh.
20% in
No,
Korean, no,
but taxes no,
ultimately
no, but
G
taxes no
loan
prevent other
on
people from
20%. No,
acquiring
no,
two
I can't
jobs.
G loan on the rest. Into mortgage, you need to me a double until
America,
you clear up the. It's a lot of work, but yeah, you
America,
man,
they
I'll
say
be.
man who ska or no yama or cause they so no ska one or ne adepamino. No no
America
no
kasa
no.
It's
mortgage
a
crowd
Now,
what you
wara.
now, Ben
see
Pass,
It's
maybe
a
Oh,
at the
what time
time,
I
wara.
down
catch
no
us this
battle,
time now?
Henema.
What can
We
Europe
are
as
the
a
It's
same
a
man?
time.
Our
wara.
UK
Uncle.
will taxes on bed Joe no wait me for second job. Oh, I'm a UK and go away second job. You ever tax am can be there.
crowd be judge money
Say into the man
Nah,
for you. I mean,
just for agency. Tax,
Oh
I'm
my
saying. You still be bad after.
Ade ka asɛm bi a patro me respond ka ma me kɔ court sɛ ɔyɛ a friend is saying ɔkɔ for ordinance ɛyɛ dɛ nneɛma no traditional wife. Mama, is that did I get a question correctly?
Mr. Bempame say, Mammy Akosua call you could prove the ordinance marriage. But at the end of the day, no, the focus was on the kind of a wife she is. The focus was on her conduct in marriage. And you know, it's like she was punished with a traditional wife. Your friend is a label. Pretty much, that's what I am thinking. And I want to understand why. Did that matter? I mean,
I don't think to see it in the context of she was punished is the right way to look at it, because if you wear the punishment lens, then
oh,
everything
there
else
be
you look at it
I'm
wrongly.
just, I'm just creating.
I
So
get
it
you.
just seemed like, yeah, literally, no, okay, she was
I
just
get you.
labeled with
You see,
a traditional wife and
yes, I
robbed of
mean, I
her
think that
ordinance marriage.
yes, and before future will come in, I think that we need to state something clear that Mama Akosua Sewa in court no koye no, she did not only give evidence to the ordinance marriage. There
Mr.
were
Bempa,
evidence.
me
Yes, my
pato,
love.
fa soma o submission why.
Okay. Na make say Mama
Jonah
Akosua Sewa we na koye no. Any my future nkasa nsa na matwa na future oh we can.
Future one
Question,
person or we
question now, they
are
can, yeah, now maybe let me just say, her case now, the other Robert Canampono, because there was a counterclaim, so they have to address that aspect, and the cake of Bush opinion making allegations, on the lawyers in the cases, and now available needs to cast a warrant, now say, lawyer and address issues now. To the overhead, many case now, or the beginning of the case now, by way, mama, what do you know? Or beginning of the case now, there were questions beyond a court and has to address. But pass our case, There are about almost 11, 10 or something.
Yeah, let me
Was this still married to him when there was this or this? The question that court has to address because of they raised those issues. So now we can ultimately, about between marriage we so ordinance, so not judge in the year on 1 January because of this. But there were questions for the court to answer. Normally, Ben Pardon, last and I'm not go back and forth. Just say your orbital dicta. There are other things said in the case. It might not be the main deciding, but other things, the orbital just other things said. Sometimes the judge in between make say you were this and that and that. I don't know original case, but you're very persuasive. Okay, deal say opposite side here. You say this as an orbital and persuasive and you're binding, but there to me a boa case overall case. It's in our judgment. Make us copy me say. Every pages be meanwhile, so ultimately or be answer one question whether I was married under ordinance or not. Okay, and that's the judicial reasoning how our judges conducted the issues to address in the way judge try and touch on those issues okay we how Becca say it is and yet we omunyina adwin koben cross say Mama Koscielny can say both parties agree say near 1991 or customer where one of
Mobi kasa me ya this yeah, just 5 minutes back. Future sorry, I just
Mama sanity. There were issues raised. There were issues raised, and I could
I
also
think say
address.
yeah, you're busy.
Okay.
Di ma submission why, Pacha.
What the problem does,
Yo, future
and
me,
say,
that's it.
and then see any opportunity, any pabino, almost some Bahamo, I am TT. And yeah, so clearly, and my reasons in the Omudi, crop for support of Nachi. I think say, and you may see cry and a bus platform is what, but with the intentions that a month when I am the support to both parties. So I think say, yes, I watch you. So, yes, yesterday been one answer questions and I said, yeah, at a point in time, who as a host cramp, you didn't a question. Things logical, Sometimes, name a one man, you don't need to be in a classroom to know. Logically, what you do, I dream from, besides a simple questions, be my clear. Emma will be or form correcting say, if all things being equal, I didn't know Kasiyama. Now, in your baba, kuna lawyer no chato na would be signs and no can say me say, Lumbe free mono. At time, I Lumbe free next can lawyers need easy working. I just said, Lumbe free man, the lawyers in you may be. But in this case, me giri say be a make say we are a number in bit future, but when your time, my mama said, be a make say we are obeying my address and slash him and bridge. In this case, so no, I'm say, yeah, my metro, let the bread a bush penny, At a point in time, you know, say Lumba were free with the but a bush penny and a nine representative because at a point in time, no, Mamma Kusia said, well, and some of the coin was between that the Lumba said on and Waware. Nanya Ebusia Penny or Tesson and Waware, that the Lumba. It means Ebusia Penny Jilma that the Lumba at a point in time. Our court. Me who said the Lumba lawyers, even though Lumba free still no Busuya Jumas lawyers.
Yes, and
It's
no kasa wa
on
fem kakra ma me ana. Woda hɔ ana?
Adepa
Adepa
menda ho.
Odido, Didier.
Hey. Asa de obi asa wabre bi asa ana asa obi
Eh,
asa.
Adepa Odido.
Adepa ma
Wamen bi
activate
sa asa wamen bi
Adepa
say.
we unyo. Adepa
Adepa
usu sok jegum.
Asem be
Usu
kure.
ma activate romantic mode si na barabasa. Fetchel.
Hey, asa de
Ejaka na
one
usu sogum
asa
adepa.
de one the girlfriends bi dey keep up our phone so busy. Hey, asa
Adepa. Ene adepa de ba yi ba. Adepa ba light we enye our friend comment section bro.
mentorship ono kwa omani
Open
aje
yi bra.
pa. Mo se de ozi se you go on omani aje.
Ya
Hey,
sebo. Okay.
asem
Ejira
be
mama
kure.
mama ne so kakre. Nti adepa de o mu ni
Eh,
say
metro
eh
your
yeah matimi das. The woman
boys.
say mede me hu ni sɛ yɛ papa free mu no na ne lawyers no bi a ɔmbɛsizi working koraa to some extent bɛnyɛ time wo free mu ana ebi ɔmo adwuma bɛwie saa because even sɛ kɔyɛ will a kɔm no ɔmbɛhwɛ sɛ bi a court no ɛba bɛkyɛ nneɛma ne ade ne nyinaa bɛyɛ lawyers no asa ne bi a finally no so de ade ne ba no bi a ɔka sɛ bi ɔne ɔmo nyɛ adwuma bi wa fine anaasɛ bi a ne management ɛka sɛ ɔmo nyusu lumba bi ma I think sɛ na kɛsi nti ɛhɔ de na me ne lawyer no bɛkasa yɛ no ɔbaa no na menhyɛ da nte n'ase but ebia na yɛwie na future bɛkyerɛ m ase a ade pa mesia toa so ara mekɔ ɔhene ba media mɛka sɛ ɔhene ba media deɛ baabi a waduru no ɛne mmɔden bo a wabo all these years no me to me obie ne hɔ no ma wotumi ateki lumba asɛm wei ɛde bringing it down in terms of ne credibility ɛna ɔhene ba doesn't need nipa bi a ɔmabɔ ɔmo adwene mpɔ say they are not ready to learn tradition. They are not ready to learn culture. They are not ready to learn anything. Problem. Those people, Ohimba doesn't need to prove himself to them because Ohimba Owe or your Ohimba before Lumba Baby. And seven, said the storage kind. Obi Bia was sent to Muhiaon. Ohimba has been a mouthpiece to some extent. Akasa, Afasante, Ahimfun, akasa fa asante ne yɛ bebree ho a wonim sɛ yɛba traditional setup a ɔhene ba you can take him out from it. It is a nnɛ obi susu sɛ bi a ɔtake disadvantage a discredit ɔhene ba a me to me ne ho ne sɛ it won't wash because ɔhene ba over the time no wakyerɛ sɛ ɔyɛ credible ɛna asɛm yɛ ba yi sɛ woyɛ obi a sɛbesɛbe adepaade fie nyansa ɛtoto wo ne yɛ ho a you don't you don't rush in doing things. Papa no when the castle of the kanya. As well the kind say, you won't send boy no more or nonka, and you can't force him to say it. And some of the kanya no so or making no clear say quote me say nana pa so hini ɛna ama me akwanya sɛ me bɛka nsɛm wi. Nsɛm ni bi wɔ no ma metumi aka, ebi wɔ nso a mentumi nka. Ni deɛ sɛ fata ɔhene no bia ɔde ama no. Adeɛ baako na me expect free ebia interview na ochino kuni nana ne yɛ ne sɛ ka nana no betimi upon say yate the voice ko betimi assist because ochino kono me yɛ te ase sɛ party hia no person man of what ka nana no betimi assist sɛ men somo ɔhene ba ka hopa na ka me medi beki nanka obi bi osusu sɛ ɔhene ba enye credible na ko atina so de akasa sɛ but utie nea nana no kan ya wambɔ baabi a sɛ ɔnka nkyerɛ ɔhene ba sɛ ɔmɛka biribi a anaa de ɔhene ba bɛkan no ɛyɛ huu menka hwee wɔ baabi a na mmom no obisa no question ɔno de bɛkɔmfɛm ɔno no ɔkyino kun dɛ ɔno no pɛ sɛ wo na atwerɛ krataa nana it doesn't also mean sɛ de ɔhene ba bɛkan no ɔhene no aka kyerɛ sɛ ɛnyɛ no kan and people want ɔhene ba to go extra miles bi a ɔnkɔpɛ ɔhene no voice mmra na adepa yɛn nuanom bi a ɛwɔ app yi so yi adeɛ fitaa koraa ɔmo tumi kasa etuntum na sɛ ɔhene ba bɔ mmɔden ara de ɔhene yi voice bɛto dwa na amanfo kura ti a ɛdɛn na ɔmo nka me to me ɔhene ba remains ɔhene ba credible as he is no ɔbɛkɔ so remain credible to me ohia sɛ ɔde ɔhene yi voice ba bɛto dwa and I will never subscribe to it sɛ ɔmfa mmerɛ mɛto dwa because sɛ ɔhene ba ɛde ɔhene yi voice bɔ o wɔamfa mmɔ o yɛn nuanom yi the same mindset they come, they will never change. And as someone else from day one, a penny confused. A being an occasion same way, a better could pay me share. And Kofosha said in a term, I say, I wine and ask a man, share or never be bromo ye, man, share never be bromo ye, go for a can. As seven, say free back also. A barber be drew, so cool. It means that there was a penny confused kind. And Nema, my grandmother can say me at the say, Aquala, a dear penny to hold you one. What the Aquala see you be con one. Oh, Seta na me seta mo cast na my dream so. Let's be or till be con at least could be never when him change be or but me who said literally so chere say enye so bi ti obi kon wana so bi to no na so chere say ade opani bi ti bi na adwene who say this is what is going to happen in future okay obi a oye layman bi a so we be there how possible say busu opani asem obi busu opani asem we ko do tumfo enim yewra enim ekoye den oyewra enim but asem busu opani kan line na ye gusu nam so no ohene
Be
say
ready
on na
for
so
fraud.
chere
The permission for mess up is your pastor.
all right bro
All right.
asem na ɔhene ba kan ɛyɛ abusuapan kan ɛno align no so ne nam a wode pa yɛde kɔ manhyia yo ɛyɛ den yɛbɛkɔ kɔpie manhyia because sɛ wo sɛ ɛyɛ wo ɛna watwerɛ ɛtɛ ne deɛ ɛna na kyerɛ sɛ there are so many questions a ɛsɛ ka bɛyia no a woanya akwanya ma bɛyia no nti manhyia bɛ mu deɛ a wobɛnya akwanya yi sɛ nneɛma nyinaa no and besides that no apart from so wɔdeclare sɛ ɛyɛ ɔno na ɔtwerɛ no process nso ɔfa so de tu no no so ɔbɛ explain it because you can't just say you have the authority you have sanctioned something without due process there's no way adepa ewiase a ɛwɔ mu yi wobɛtumi de asɛm ato obi so na sɛ woama no akwanya sɛ ɔhene woanya akwanya mfa ma no because wo se sɛ time na woyare ɛnya adeɛ a bɛtumi akɔ akɔkɛda wo lɔyɛ sɛ ɔmyɛ nti wo na instruct ɔm sɛ ɔmɔgyɛ nya adeɛ aka bɛtumi akɔ paako so but woatumi instruct ɔm deɛ it means sɛ woantumi nso antie abusuapɛne anom asɛm na mu wosusu sɛ mmaa no nsɛm ɔmkan no na woagyina so atu anammɔn deɛ adepa me deɛ memeka sɛ ɔhene ba baabi a ɔwɔ biara no ma ɔmma obi mpukyire ne sɛ ɔmmra a ɔtumi ɛmɛ justify ho nipa a ɛde ne die ma no so ɔhene ba no yɛwɔ nipa bi wɔ no ma woyɛ ne dɛn ɔhene ba kasɛm biara as far as lumba case is concerned ɔhene ba sɛm a ɔbɛka biara no ɔne ne nya dwene nti sɛ nnɛ aba sɛ ɔhene ba mɛpugu no a memetumi deɛ ɛho hia adepa mede twa toɔ no adeɛ baako a mehu ne sɛ ɛnnɛ nipa afrom bae no at least nipa bebree aba se aba bɛtie ɔmo anum nsɛm I'm hoping say ekuku dam a edidi teams denum bi ene oba odobroni a ye maame Freda oye kuku dam pa enti da chi bia me mpa ebo ne say nka bebo moden ma obi nso abo no moden aba ha nso ba na nka sabio ye maame Freda bai wa kire no boden bo watimi ehu se court ensem a yetrotre o kotu nsem bi ama wa de pakra te point time obi say mu questions ma so yi na no enka ye hwe ye nuanom bi a ɔmagye lion akyi sɛ emunum kura bi betumi aba bɛka court no nsɛm no bi kura mpo deɛ ɛkɔ so kura anaasɛ bi a court kura asɛm kura ɔka yɛ kura so obi kura mpo a ɔyɛ kimpin wɔ ebi a team yi bi mu ebetumi kura bɛka paragraph ko anaasɛ bi a ɛhefa kura n'asɛm yɛ wɔ kura kade pa ka ɛbɛ ɔnwa nti dɛ mɛtwɛn sɛ da koro yɛ wɔ ha na nka sɛ dɛ metwerɛ wɔ ase ano yɛbɛ open pool bi wɔ ha no na nka gya yɛahwɛ sɛ akuku dam baako bi abɛhyia bi a ne nua bi wɔ ha na de pa wayɛ moderator
Okay, so which
na
ma ekuku dam this why no hwan.
te
And
sɛ
then say
ɔbɛti ɔbɛti wa abɛsi
juma
ɔbɛti wa
na
abɛsi
buy so
Frida
on so yɛ ekuku dam. So on
daabi
so
o
so.
na adwuma na ɛsɛ ɛsɛ kaadi kinkin de hyia no kaadi kinkin hyia na kontumi nka one word ɛwɔ ha o tere mi
I
sɛ
don't know. I
nti
didn't know kim
a
dam
sɛ
mention.
ɔno no sɛ na me ma apɛrɛn no
Because
kinko bɛ fa
ade
adwuma na ba
parking cane no yɛ well vested in law. Nti no that pen
eti
na
ka
wopɛ
eti
yɛ
ka
no na
wunya
ɛmfa.
adepa yi
Yeah.
adepa na ma apɛrɛn no wunya ɛyi na sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔyɛ fair moderation power platform so da koro pa ahyɛ da ɛmɔ mu invite twa flyer pa to sɛ ebi a Friday bi wuhyia kuku dam
What
bebree wɔ ha
mo see ekuku.
na de pa
Okay,
moderate wa wo de adepa me so ka
timodo
no
broni for for ekuku dam one e be free timodo da pa
ɛna
ko
me
no.
sɛ
And
me
say
ma apɛ wo de hwɛ me ma
wopɛ
apɛrɛn
law mu nsɛm deɛ a kinke ɛyɛ best anaa prestige wɔ hɔ. Wate
aha
ase? Aha.
sa
Ɛna sɛ
ana
wopɛ ɛyi aha Ogorofo no so a he anti Frida
At the
ne
pay.
we
Or the my mentor parent,
Oh,
you can
so
be
worry.
The
regular.
uncle for sometimes I'm
But
on
I'm
per
not
challenge, I'm
to.
on per challenge, but notice my the uncle for can you challenge or more challenge me that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Sometimes
And
I just want to make a balance, but sometimes I'm on person over challenge. Why? I didn't hear.
okay, in the future that could order trim the open I'm swimming from
Oh,
first
now
day.
Kincaid, and I'll bet you trust my friends on also my reading by reading the Umbra, but I proved to
Okay,
him.
you match.
Prestige, wound than an hour, I could see at you know what happened between me and Prestige. What are you crying here? We
All
are
right.
managing to answer our question. You were there.
Okay,
Prestige,
but
you
my
use
come on,
Prestige, no man
it's
respect.
adepa.
It's a man respect. It's many banter.
Martimini, it's adepa. The minister only say, the why you know what we about so platform we any the neutral platform and pan so what justify say we are the neutral platform or app is bien one man or neutral platform ka wo di open at makonya e ma we be kasa wi na tu obi no so abase ya be kasa omo ban so ayi hu number no timi rise there na kwa which means say obi about the na chita fo aba and he urging the points no lose and you know and then no the why and many aso but adepa Dakro, Ukoshe, the founder of Team Legal Wife, a area mammy Tiwa, on a
Me de
founder.
ne beba, me de ne beba, me ne beka ko kasa enche me de
Pane
ne beba.
brother Dakro, the Pabo Modia and say, Case Nanka say Cocotono. Necessarily no business
Ade
around
ye
the
nka kotu, ye nka
Did
kotu
you
asem.
the Adepa,
Ye
Yango
nka
can
kotu
you?
asem. Me de ne
Yanka
beba,
drone once in
ye
your
ba
home.
ye nka
Adepa,
kotu asem.
or
Ade
Ben maybe a drone be as in
ye
your
pe ne
home.
ye beka. Me de ne ba de ope so.
Oh God, probably my race will be to us.
Hey, who was our question be beginning? No, that may chance of
Aha, me pass
beginning.
right where I'm going. Yeah.
Okay. And me at the bar me the man my crowd can I say me time I assemble for use but me then I ko banta da. Uncle we bro up from no I ko banta. Sometimes I want to make a balance. Me we underrate me a wow problem because normally I try to be fair near you but money me. Alex one example he and I've realized that he tried to give that kind of way say no. He say I think the prestige I be kasa squad no say I'm near cool. It's one more shot some more church and go ask Prissy about me. Okay. Anyway, if anything, at the party, D, I didn't say, I know our first question and I don't make, I mean, I'm named the Jima Market. I wanted to be neutral. But I'm on TRC because they thought that may come or be no. Who are the answer? Who are principal agent relationship? Who a lawyer now who are automatically no. My that is number from I mean, 5 years. I'm saying very simple because the Bema na say or more person way. Who say who a lawyer? Now say what lawyer ni lawyer ne wo me. I mean, for some this is a free man. Normally, no, automatically no. And the contract no. Okay, depend on principal agent. That's the foundation principle. Okay, say case be or that. And now with that so AD and then and there. It's an executor and as administrator. Those people no, they play a role. Say nipa na no more representing no. Okay, it was executor and a bit more or no delay. I said the executor no say so advance why I want to do be ashamed. I see send or no the money panel. So per crown case no to me and because it's or no na making decisions. Assembly or honor sika assembly na court or bit my panel name on behalf because the executor will act on behalf of the deceased. Okay, and that's how it works. And you know, so I don't just say lawyer no bet was questions no. Unless there's a case, and I'll say be a lawyer and personal interest, whichever way. But normally no, and the contract near and the okay. And to
Future
execute out.
Pacho, the name is an say, it said that the number case here, that the number would do we and is to say, or then lawyers contract a word. A banisana, obitimi trollete. Every mamma could say a letter, no, I didn't address it to the lawyers for Su family. I didn't address it to them because
Say
when
I don't know number say me say or her response na baba jama mo de kwa na it shows say abusha untina lawyers no me hu letters me first letter call any interactions that call montem dia because I didn't know Becca say omo ye fosu family no in what way the extended family royal family for Pakos for na say ne rene ne ma senka ne rene ma also ka ho bi it no we had the response that baba jama mo de ma no na was we right on the behalf of our client then a person kind of royal for Pakos royal family on behalf on the Abu Japani jano and they call court to be able to represent here. It is Baba Jama better time for a didn't tell me. Also, only the any firm keke, non crown a ya some no, lawyers keke, no more representing Abu Japan. What it is that explanation, including your call TV. No, it's Abu Japan, I found lawyers, as in this case, our more representing Pakos royal family, our Nedano. To her, that letter number responding na. Say be my na be letter number some cause my no nim no order no say no nche say for automatic that Zumba intina omo obujapenye omo represented that Baba Jama. If Baba Jama or omo ha be bisa say that Zumba intina omo represented and say obujapenye from say the lawyers. Kaminya answer no was. Intina na person
Pacho. Okay, Matter. Since Pacho na say for some family no. To you no there that the lumba pa Akosua family no refer to them and I say that the lumba na kasa ebusua ye ne yere ne money from Akosua family.
Assembly call court no odobrin lawyers no na emo yan na say na Baba Jama ma na Baba Jama fam na.
Na different lawyers.
Exactly. It's not my person, me chairman no want to say. Yes, it's in person just say, her response na Baba Jama mo de ma na ansa na ebe court last way na ka say e dimba we mu kra na o metena se nyina den. Her first paragraph na I will tell you on conform represent what we represent our client. It's not person in kan ben pan kan no. It's other number person mean chire man storage mu tu gume zuza menti asem say. O de no mo na no mo nti de mo kana say. Omo Japan fa na lawyers. And I press last so fan lawyers. And I back on home so farm lawyers. It's assistance no the lawyer Baba Jam they act on behalf of Abusia Penny and Akosua family. And it's in the letter. So on that family address I be know him. And sanity a court it was obvious who the lawyers are, who they represent. Just that omo defendant until they work together because the claim plaintiff against the defendants. Okay, and sanity.
Yeah, and they are also be so Abusia Penny say according to him no on Wojina Wama that the lumba until more or less no until I'm for us I confused no Abusia Penny Jina Wama
on one can ask them that lumba fan court one did la lumba court
there be the chairman for confused and say
and I'm saying Abusia Penny statement now make here no or any you can only mother lumba Wojina ma the Akosua royal family one court
and no
that lumba no well for that lumba court
yes and no hono the tia and massa didn't bem say on Wojina Abusia Penny over Abusian in and wow home beka one Wojina Homa.
That's the Akosua royal family, no? Okay. The Dobronin can hold his animal, man. Because exactly. I'm trying to explain. When I say when the first time back, I'm Canada, Obi Busam like check. The numbers I'm link back, but no more to be a Jimama Casadem here. Okay. No names of a just margin and amateur home because at the fact I said I'm doing for home, but they didn't understand. But young Queen.
Okay.
Nti no me pacho wo kasa dia wo say lawyers mu de wo hina na enim no mo etro de
when an example said my man can address a minimum letter they can call Hunter lawyers and address the call Baba Jama for Su family. But the amendment and where it became very obvious and response Baba Jama replied. The common reply and no more say we act on the behalf of our client for Akosua family, although Professor Fori and thank for now, the can letter and addressing. Common reply and say we act not community personal issue or more can issue. No, saying that's their lawyers for them. But Omo reply and Omo really a class of their client, a Akosua royal family of the end for Su. And you know, so her letter na by in here, Brempomaa or in Kamemana introduction. No, so don't reply, mamma. No, 2 letters in Kabum, the represent home. Okay. You know, I don't think I very obvious. And they call court and say, sure, the same thing I'm follow up. And the court, no, as the come representative was a penny press like club, but we are on lawyers. It's all numbers, I'm sure.
But
apart from that, lawyer no be church them. Lawyers no be church them say almost standing in for Abusia Penny will be our there. But they have interest, a interlink, or more link.
Yeah, it's any defendant. I'm sure so many defendant. The defendants, in the defendant lawyers, no, they work together because the same interest in the same. But they have to say, first no. I don't know, very obvious. Now Grace who can be now, and I now can be. I know your man submission making a point.
I think say one.
But na me bisa question say, say
one of the question, Pacho Gracie.
Future. Na what I say. Stop it. Now what I say, me pacho no ne buy no. Juma na buy.
But you ready why? I think it's one hour casa why.
I will say Juma na buy. Now she was saying say the moment ani pani be no ne right and I say responsibilities no to him as the personal lawyer no is easy. And our babe clarify say
say ebia na omo pending issues bia it doesn't mean say as easy. And you know, me refer you back to lawyer Fatimu response omo de bre mama say wana. That just say it means he say they are still acting say papa neja omo guidelines they should make sure say omo execute including his estate. It is still no omo that we lawyers and
No, that's a man can say, but so say, case pending case, executor, okay? So, yeah, well, I'll pay on to executor the now, who no. Testator, one who jail name you be court, that case be crowd, executor numbers of better, so betting me, Aradro. Ain't no, son of make out. It is a very day, Unya woo, yeah, Unya woo, I may say it's easy, okay? That's how it is, a principal agent. Now, executor number, I know, but take anything on. Lawyers no better executor better unless I say lawyers maybe a case go on so interest whichever and yes we know there's nothing like that but we can't generally be a contract or more agreement with whatever it is but that's how normally it works nipa na wo no untimi bibia except the executor now be gen name now be with the gen name to think our point executor or ball say me wo agina mu nti oba be ka na depade nyina bom say bi o ha be ka bi also twe betua de man so ho no ono be pe lawyer no atwe no akeka nipa na depade abo no ya cha akopim aman beneficiaries or ma omudin what we no nti that's how it works tell me minimum
Okay, future better was say. I mean, sure. Is in a
I dey
pattern.
permit me kasa because I know pa o megina so sa o.
Patrol bin to
Usi me
na.
na makwa back.
Zina
Usi me na
buya na
makwa
wakasa why
back.
pattern. Yeah, no 1-1. Oh, there zina buya, zina kasa.
Okay. Abusuafo me chiachia mo. Akra ewie me nso metumi aka no say. Unse ye wo ho a na ohinba media epie ne tika se beka se. Akoso hene aka kire se letter na enye on na twere. Na ohinba media said de na ye bra ba ko eka no. No ye na adwuma dada ansa na problem yi eba. Na problem no so baaye no yehu baabi a ohimba media ogina ye ma asem no ayesa no yehu nka woye te se sabe adepa a woye neutral na nka okasa nka ebeye obi afanu ne nyina nya but oyi ne ho ema yehu baabi a ogina because yenuanem bi no sometimes omuka se yen no yenti asemase bibia o mbeka bia no enya de ebete wo mase na wo pese obi ti wo ase but wo nti nipa na ase wo fi se ebeye yesa enti ohinba media no yehu ba bia ogina nti anytime bia no opie no obeka asem bia e wo se yedwene ho ansa na yafa enye se wo beka ya na yafa. And apart from ohinba media so no yehu nipa bebre yese kwatere kwa we eso so obema ontoma ti ne din enye kasa obeba be kasa wa ha o ame yati o enye se wo ye ogora unim kasa se obekasa nti wo de obeka ebia no e wo se wo na wo de obeka no e na ye adwuma court no a eda ho no court ni eye nyina ye dia ye nyina nipa ni nyina Ghana fo nti ene ye court no ya anye court ama nipa baako ena ukodu court na wasem no ye botia o once eno nkire se wo wie ye aba enu nti ni wo mo ye court of appeal na e wo ho no enti maye nyina ho enkeka to the sense asa ye judges na wo mo ho o mo onyansa ne ko wo mo ajeje wi a nko wo mo ma kwan se ye nko ya appeal nke ya ade a ya judge asem na wi a nke ya mma kwan se api bi wo ho a yetimi ye se wo ya api no kra na anye yi a wo be chatimi asa aye biom akọ anim ena me enye ya adwen so se ye yetimi a kire se ye nwia odobroni ene ye fere se deal ena ye nsuo ena omo nsoso no eye fm no ansa na sa fm ne beba no deal nankasa etena ha ka kire ye se ye papa kodwantwi ye papa kodwantwi obo ye papa kodwantwi din se muhu sa audio na video na me share sa video no obo ye papa kodwantwi o se ono e na odi tu nanim ama ne ko hu mpanyimfo bi 16 years ago 16 years ago opaye no ni yemfa ayi pipa na emma no kwan emma na nye sa radio no nti wo be ultimu hu se wo starting so obey radio station enye ne That time no ni onye odobroni no exist on a life. So exist on a life krana no one ne enko hwe. That time no so no one ya maame no ma to plot ne dada ai wo because ansa na obeye bibi ewo asase bi so no na plot no eda obeye bibi wo asase so no na asase ne da wansa na waye bibi wo so. Wakase wako ho 3 times ya mani people nti eye no won cross one day wote ho a or friend or kwadwantwi friend say or mo a issue ama no eda no metie ne na yi na oye no die la na num e no ka asasem no enti ye kase woni ye begina ha ne ye kase ye woni ye nua odebroni e na ye saa de na enkoyi enye saa e na tie wodi wo betimi akade wo pe bia because of on behalf the baby a owu gina because wo pese oka ma okasa ye de but obe cancel ye mfa ube cancel ya ube timi explain ube explain abre because enim kura ena ensuo no a osi ye change ye no ye change ye dinidin ena ye ne ya change a man na aye na ade a eye man ne ma oka ho yes metiase but eye man ne ma ne yinim nyina because ye nhwe ha maame no enye aware na yesi wokowale no wajamani ni nkwa no ware ni fie ti se de yesi waware odobro ni ofie no maame no so wale ni fie enti jamani de ne tosumienu enti bebia no na chese maame no wo hobi yetimi nya de ne enyini mfirim na abegina ho akache kase woye lucky kura se ye de na hye bibim we nye lucky we lucky be nim because nima bebre wo ho a hwe obi nim a obi nim saa na akoye but ebi wo ho a nipa akata na no because a new time this time big baba surprise bebre bepie surprise bebre ebepie a nipa nim Inti ye kasa sometimes no yenka the because okay good say obeba be kan idea but enka to the sense say who conclude am why because the who kano wono wo begina ho a obeka no unkrofo no a wo no utimi convince wo mo no na beti because me who kakra me pa me low no me penso a metie but fa awura ha because me fa wasem bia enyas but me catch to the sense say ka SCP kire yen say we maame no ye kan say odobroni ene die na ye we so one na de ye we yem ne matrimonial we say time ane eto die ne maame no eto sa asase na eda islegon no na ohunu odobroni omukọhwe pipa na asase no maame no wanfa saa niema ni nyina ankọkọ tu ono wanfa wọkọ no wankase ejapade enti ni wọkọ court enye japade enti ni wọkọ court ọkọ court so ono no wo kire se wo ye yire ono nko ane surviving wife eno wo de court enu no de court enke ye ka se wo court because of ejapade a enka saa time no ena ye fe ni say obeyi saa pipes ni nyina ba amo obie hu se saa pipes no wo munyi saa pipes no originals ni nyina na yi na owo ni nyina no ebe dru court a originals pipes originals ni bebem ye be hu de ni din ewom ana ye refi se ye ejapade court na beche ana ye nhwe pipes e wo ho enye nnuru ho because enye eho ene ye de court ne ba ya fa ne sen yi ne ba panyi ya fa ne sen yi boy we ya fa ne sen mpo ma me se wa ba panyi yi mi wure fini din yi kojo pon ase kwaku pon ne ba kwaku pon no how many years ni a oba Europe oba America nye 3 years ni nye 3 years ni a oba America kwaku pon no te
information na
Ghana
mo
no
tapo why mo tapo so mame why
kwaku pon no
information
te Ghana no adwuma na oye no afuo no oye no lumba de ne ye adwuma enye lumba na de ne ye adwuma enye maame ne na wo no enye maame ne na tiwo ne ye adwuma kora na se kwakupon na tiwo kwakunye kwakupon na tiwo ye adwuma mu pushi ni pa manipa eyi nsemu satan na boy no wo ye afuo na lumba eye ni nyina hwan na eyi na eye afuo no hwan na eye afuo no nye kwakupon na tiwo no wo ye afuo no wambia na no tiwa obi se wompie mra wonye se wompie ma na da obepia abansusu no ye nyina ye behu surprise da no nsusu beduru
Some information I'm a person be busa say unim sad and say sad and say or no according to him no a fan baby ebe hu no e de adwuma bi hye ne nsa na wono ankasa eye media person a wado cross adwuma ni mu no e no wono afa akire ebusebusa nsensem bi say mo se mo be man bibi enya sikasem information be information ne ma e de na ekoso e no wono ankasa ye ne investigation hu say da bi eye adwuma na nipakuo bi ahyehye and we free hono mo said that be the credibility nti or to say that be oye na dwuma no ono akwa university ko hu said that be baby woko no chia and obegina mfimfin sisi nti ye hono no se e wadwene se bia abegina baabi nti dia pese me make you say wo ya aware sa no ma na asi no
okay me dia minim ne say because me ohene ba no before na me tie ne pa ba asem yo ba ye na me hu because me ti me hu say nipa bi a wo mu gina platform so e ma amanfo kom platform so e kasa e ma yenua odobroni no o mu ti mi gada o mo ho e ko gina ne platform so eni ni di nkomo me so live me ko ase ko tie di o mu kan nyina enti no me hu die wo gina ene wo mu kasa nso so a me hu se de osi kasa ene wo ba abonten so no wo be ka asem a kire yen so a me hu se de osi e ma information enti no we nyi obi a na ka kire me life
Epacho Dabi, me de say.
but who de na wo ka say wa be neutral ne de enu minim
Menka neutral semo. Menka neutral. The mention
so wa
say.
be gina mfimfini wa be gina mfimfini de ano aye dey
My memory free no na neti ase ye. The mention say, "Oh ya aware say." And some may pepe nyina media no ohene ba. And I started sa process no. Odi ka de ba say obi akum obi or the information ba we beba unim sa de no. What is ade no?
no me nya aware say ohene
Okay,
ba
and I say wunya aware dia men fa bibia nto so but the me person me chen say or no na start ye. E che ya ono aye investigation no. And ono asa ba say you know start here no enya sa na tie because information no pay free omo born no because you do maybe a obesora no pa no enam so omo won contact dada omutimi messages nipa best over 100 no mo send the same messages they did natem ono ankasa ba be kasa asem so also unim sa de dia me di ho acho
me de ne action ne
dia to so bio na o ka di te Priscilla 16 years FM no 16 years na Lumba ka say oko woni ko dwanti di ho nkombo e no ka oh be kura mani di ho sem pesa me ya FM me da koto ho
ne interview bi no
me tie sa video no
aha okay
nkombo di die no e ne ko ba say wono kwa na ni no mo ka radio station ho asem so na ni je ho wo de ne de kwa koto no be so over 13 years but wo nya ho mu ya bia ono ko dwanti say sa enye menim obi o me no bedi ho nkombo nti according to Lumba no say anche ene kwadwa nti ko hum empenimfo within best 6 months ene sign man enti na wo ka bibi say wo de le link Priscilla say 16 years no na
oni ho time no kura no oni ne te kura na no oni ne emo branko babia sa na me pass
enti me kan sa mama because
enti me kan sa say na ma me na oni na tira be 40 years ne say nya oni ne bo sa bra no na oni de ne na be 2 years na oni na bo bra ma
sa bi o yen kan sa o kan sa de nya obi won ma
kan sa say ubeti aka de be favor but
na ma me ka say be pa cho be ka sa be ti ase de tie ne say ye nyina ye aware bi ye ne mpedi ye ne matna ye bi nti ye kasa free experience ubeti no oba bi atena be over 100 years sa oba no ontimi nka bibia mo abrabo mu da ontimi nka encourage bibia say yenye but ubeti akosi obi 2 days aware no eno mo ubeti ba yama no che obi anu na tra be 40 years enti enka ne sa say ye ne obi atra dodododo
awunim say me so tie mama nka no sa say me maka my idea wo so do dia so ade
open no say wo ka say obi no obi atra dodo nti
wunim say asase no omo to sa asase no ansa na sa Priscilla kura eba picture nim say wunim sa
there be minim sa because me asase no be nim be free
asase no can't do me say
minim be free
wusu wunim sa na
asase no 208 I mean church mu metma change me mani ahwe documents bi metma but ya nya nsem nya de betim de aba out nti sa uko tie so obi cars ma kire wa
2008
asase ne 20 years ago
na mo so prega ebe ware no
there be the bit ma to boss ye nya esua de wa hase e pa cho
okay
and nya bibia na obi anim so ati ase nti france bibi wo na so odi ma na so bi kire wa ye chen say obi take one side na de kosa ko so bepem ye nya esua de e no ma bi wo no ma na obi anim say bibi say na
adepa senior call me chia adepa won say obi wo live so Freda Odobroni or Prega what share na man friend of Prega ye so so sesia na obesi mi
is it a pacho men friend of Prega why pacho
so we need go asase no omo wo enim hu nim de kwa fa so ba nyina abegina platforms ya kasa dada nti say bibi she otrim na wo so nchangi na abedi akire saa say ne na me ne toye ade se de ya be kire say tab we say 2008 emra na nado ewo power na wokobọ nwum no saa time no en wonya saa asase no enye 1999 and 1994 ya kasa asebe se nyina bet say ya kan bibi a kire mo a eno na dem tum say se bo change yenya na edi ba me na chi o so bet butma atresi mi a na me di ba me na chi bet eduru mre bia me hu say ensensem ni sisi so ene ye pay ba bi tena ye nti obi ntam ma me no yenyina me ma me panimu
na o no
me
udu obi
pema
eti
sempa
no
usisi
ape
oba
baby atene ti
usisi oba me
se no
no
u bisa me
moja kwa
question
me
na say u ye submission na ama me
da bi me cheche ase yenye esua de mama esua de wa nti mabu mfu me pa chawo
Okay.
David,
Yeah.
me
Okay.
fui, but who
me
you
pema
submission no
sempa
one submission.
me
Who be
ma me
obeti?
me
Na
ya
who
go to
one
Okay.
say
me
what
Kobe.
do daddy? Na nipa no the oil no umpe no wapem a enu nkyere se obi nsusu medi wachi ana
me
obi
ka se
nso
be di machi me ni ba bia obedi achi o
yes.
me nyina ba bia ba be di machi ye
Okay.
me
Me
pen
will.
se
Me will be a
ma
question.
me ne ba
Kobe
ye no
Pacho. Kobe Pacho.
Kobe, I'm some question.
I think it's Waka Sokaka.
Me bisa question me ma Zena.
Yeah, munya
Uka semfa.
me answer question bia bi mo obi anya ne submission.
Oh, there be so waka sent was bisa question. Uka say me say wa hini ba media ejina fa na we si na anyi bia mbusa o. Da be no hu say wa hini ba media aso platform or discuss you know me Akosua say wa ne odobroni ehu asem. If the nim say o ozibia no amane ensem no hini ba media kire. Se bibi chi no kese wi enya amane wi enyesi. En na nim so kire. Anyi bia wo hu da so wa hini ba so life. Or discuss it, Mamma Akosua say what do Brunia asem, ebo be a kisibia, be a yenny, be a yenny, or who be sad. The question the kind of
Is it not
No, I
Pacho?
still want
What
so.
you under?
or the answer,
Oh, bet me.
Um be di man.
Okay. Then I'm okay.
or the
Also.
answer, make next question.
Now,
Okay.
On
or
set,
answer
baby,
now,
I
what kind of
Okay.
question? What answer next
and
question?
Osama.
may can't walk,
What can't to say?
may
Say
can't
no, be
walk.
buy obi the question. I'm be the panel free
Future,
so
I
I'm
mean,
be
can't
answer
walk.
on
Is a
them.
Mivia Messi form. On set,
Kato.
says here, was like
Okay. So be member. So be a man submission. Not so say. Oh, on can I say? Oh, accept any questions. It's fine. And one say do so. Now you can add it to your submission in no our reference
Adepa,
into whatever. Yeah.
Adepa,
It will be
o
submission.
platform we a very big platform. Nkofo bebree na
If you
etie.
say, what about the Obi Kasa? When you're going to Busa, the end of the camera, you Busa question, the also
Oh,
Adepa sɛ me ba
me
hanom na sɛ me be puti
Aha,
out
okay.
message bi na sɛ obi ntimi question message na then
And
Adepa
men come in the end of the men can
what's the
message and
free
uncle
will
there.
on the
They
platform
can't
because
win my
Ben meba. What can we you know so on your reason or when you know how was it to me make a question for him.
that me person
And never
Adepa and yes zin na ba na make am the fact
now
so be ma ba be abi make submit so support odo broni so support ebuta penny or can be na say chire e wo so na we have the right to question the person Adepa say ba ne say nipa no be ka
Ben meba tea me. To question the person obi ansi ho kwan say me there's me kwasa na me pe na me say me bi kwan mo bia bisa question but say nipa no so bisa me a me miti we me ntimi ncheche no but the me yan say nipa no next time oba na so obi bisa obi so question na me mani misa no
Adepa de me
me
can
ba to
say
wata
o platform
enti
no
the me yan say me
Adepa
ba enti the oba yan say oba comment you can comment what must say. Either you comment or you ask question. Nipa na obebi sa question ama na answer. What's it from? What was it?